Thing to it. There is no life I know to compare. You'll be free. Oh, it's so gentle, so beautiful. Maybe the greatest song ever. At least the greatest song in the history of film. The question is, how does the show go from this to like Snafu Snaps, screaming at the top of his lungs till his brain hemorrhages and bursts apart? What a weird show. Welcome back, guys and dolls. You found your way to another Z show. Much love. Rose 777, right off the bat, says, I invited Snafu to a stream. Was it this stream, Rose, or just a random stream? And he has not responded. Well, I was going to say, maybe he's missing in action, but the lovely Venus Cupcake says that he was on another channel a few hours ago, spreading more lies. Oh, I see. Rose is confirming that she invited Mr. Snapper to a stream later tonight on her channel. We'll see how that goes. See if you can get him to cough up my public records that he apparently is holding on to, Rose. Much love, Snafu. We love you. I love you, Snafu. I'll speak for myself. Much love. Much less. I'm sure it's not easy being Snafu Snaps. He seems confused. Like he acts like he's like a tough street dude, like, you know, urban. But he's apparently Indian. And not feather. Dot. He's a dot Indian. But he acts to act like a rough and tumble, like hip hop street dude. That's got to be tough, Snafu. It's probably confusing. Rose has his whole life story. As I said the other night, Rose, you may have the biggest lady balls in the entire metaverse. You do not shy away from any of the characters here. Although my theory is that it's less to do with your boredom and fascination with these people, and more to do with your process of gathering Mossad-like information on all these people. That's kind of what I'm thinking, Rose, is what's going on with you. It's more about that than anything else. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we know you're like slippery, Rose. I get it too. Like I understand. I'm pretty sure I understand what you're up to. So, that being said, people, look out for Rose. She doesn't seem like she's messing around. Much love, though. So look out, Snafu. You may think you have me pinned with accessing my public files, but I have Rose on the job. So you're not going to be able to compete with that. You're just not. Apparently, Rose, are you debuting your new character tonight? Dr. Jelly Brogan? And that's what I hear throughout the metaverse, is that you'll be unveiling Dr. Jelly, not to be confused with Dr. Kelly Brogan. Of course not. Again, Rose will be displaying her Mossad-like ability to shapeshift into really whoever she chooses. I know you guys are shifty. You've been hiding those spiky horns y'all have for like 6,000 years. So your ability to shapeshift is probably not something any of us should be surprised about, you know? So maybe we'll get to see that tonight. Who knows? But I have Rose 777, my own little Mossad agent. So that gives me a leg up on everybody. So just look out, everybody. Just remember that. Gives me an advantage. Just saying. It's nice to have a Mossad agent. Not everybody has one. Although some people have imagined that I'm a Mossad agent. Silly people. You don't have to be a Mossad when you have access to a litany of Mossad agents. Rose, Dave Weiss. Who knows? Potentially that Alex Stein. Jewish Mossad. Plain and simple, everybody. Where's RV when you need him? Russian vids. Clip this, Russian vids. As long as you have this and that image of me giving the double 666s, I think you'd be able to make. I at least a couple weeks of content regarding yours truly, the Zetetic Warrior. Just saying. Much love, everybody. Much love, RV. Although I have to say, apparently our friend Rose is like really good friends with Mr. Russian Vids. But upon inspection of his material, I gotta say, let's put it this way, Mr. Russian Vids, and there's a few other content creators that are on my list that we might be covering here on the Z show in my ongoing series on apophilia. You could all thank Smith W for this, because he's the one who really got me onto this whole apophilia thing. After exploring the mindset and the beliefs and mentality of our good friend Smith W, I realized that this problem of apophilia is really an issue in the truth community. And I think your buddy Z is going to get down to it. I'm going to root through the apophilia tendencies. But there's too many people to go through. Like I saw it with this Super Bowl thing, you know? Like I watched our good friend Donut Factory. I only saw the thumbnail in his video, but he was able to take the Roman numerals for the current Super Bowl and turn them into the word evil using not a small degree of apophilia. And after the game, when I found out that the winning quarterback threw for 333 yards, I knew it was over. I knew it was going to be apophilia heyday for all the number counters. So, I don't know. If I continue to feel so inclined, we may do an apophilia uncovered series here on Z Show. Because I'm starting to be fascinated by these people. And I'm wondering, like, what I'm doing wrong. Because they all seem to have, like, 150,000 subscribers. So I don't know what you're doing wrong, Smith W. But just keep it up, dude. And I think you'll get there. I think you'll achieve RV and Donut Factory status sooner or later. Because it appears like there's plenty of morons out there that are totally bought in to the number counting. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing it, guys. I said it before. There's only so many numbers from 1 to 10, right? There's only so many letters in the alphabet. There's only so many days of the year. And then at some point, guess what happens? Like, you know, you could associate really any number you want to any letter you want and any day you want and kind of like spin a narrative. That's why I think apophilia is the perfect word, because what you're just doing, seemingly, it's just my opinion and stuff, is you're making meaningless connections and putting meaning to them. Rose says RV's hot. Rose, are you like the only person ever to see RV? Because the word on the street is Russian Vids has never been seen before. Rose, are you sure you're not just thinking of that Roddy Piper icon that he uses from the movie They Live? Maybe you just think Roddy Piper's hot. He was one of my favorite wrestlers back in the WWF days of the 1980s. He was a good heel. Long live Roddy Piper. He uses the image so much, I actually think that's what he looks like. But Rose apparently has seen him in real life, and she says he's hot. What do you mean, Rose? Like hot, like your ex-husband who created and defined the term heroin chic in the early 90s after he got done playing for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers? That kind of hot? Yeah, she says yes. Well, we know your type, Rose. So Judy P keeps telling me that all RV is the guy who's a call for an uprising. I don't think so, Judy P. I don't see any similarities in their voice. I just don't. Yeah, to me, RV's Roddy Piper, plain and simple. But Z's going to call out the apophilia. It's too much to go through their content. And a lot of people are going to get pissed at me. I know it, but so be it. I'm sorry, but you guys, you just can't take every hand signal, every number, and associate it to a narrative that you're spinning in your head. It really makes us all look bad. And I know you'll be like, oh, you're a flat earther. You're dumb as it gets. You're psyoped. Okay, you can keep thinking that. And I'll keep thinking that you're just basically grifting people, scaring them. Oh. It's just fear porn. Z's tired of it. Just saying. But much love, everybody. Everybody's going to do what they're going to do. And that includes me. How pissed is Smith W right now? Scale of 1 to 10. Smith, how pissed are you right now? Because I know you're listening. He's at the dinner table with the one earbud in his ear. Just fuming right now as I'm talking about his apophilia and others like him. I know you are, Smith. His wife's like, honey, would you like some more mashed potatoes and gravy? And he's just seething. He can't even listen to what she's saying because he's going to unleash on Satiric Warrior. I just know it. Dad, you seem a little distant tonight, even more than usual. What, Junior? Oh, listen to the Satiric Warrior. Doesn't he know I stuck up for him when he was gone on multiple other channels? What do you mean, Dad? Are you doing a thing again? No. I told you guys, I stopped counting numbers a long time ago. Really, Dad? Because I caught you in your room and you were just like throwing out random numbers. What was that all about? Oh, nothing. Honey, I need to go to the garage. You're not going to go out there and drink again, are you, Smith W? No, I told you I quit. Hold on, this will be a better segment if I get his music up. Set the mood. Damn, that's a Satiric Warrior. I'm going to have to drink a whole bottle of scotch right now and then blame him like I always do. I was there for you, Z. Now you're going to go against Russian Vids and Donut Factory because they can't stop lying and scaring people and grifting them till there's no tomorrow, as they just turn random numbers and hand signs into seemingly meaningful things. How dare you, Satiric Warrior? Fuck you. I'm going to take you down. I'm going to call that Snafu Snaps. You're in for it, fuckface. Just let me drink a little bit more before I get in the horn with Snafu. Fuck you. Children, Daddy's gone bye-bye again. Remember we talked about this? Get your bags. We're leaving again. Where are we going? We're going to Grandmom's like last time and the time before. Remember? Okay. Harmon, right on point, says RV is not a very honest person. Yeah, Harmon. That's kind of my issue, bro. Thank you, Harmon, for putting it so bluntly, as is your way. That's my whole point. They're not being honest with people, Harmon. I don't like it. I don't like what they're doing. And I thought I liked Donut Factory. You know? But Z's calling it out because it's goofy. You guys put the scary music behind all your videos. You just scare people with a bunch of nonsense. Z's kind of tired of it. Just saying. I get it, Marky. Marky still loves RV. He's an OG. I hear you're coming from Marky. That doesn't excuse him. You just can't say a bunch of unsupported claims about people over and over again. It's very grifty. And as Harmon said, dishonest. Good point, Rose. She said, it's not a lie if you believe it. Rose, you just brought a whole new level to this conversation, as you are apt to do. Thank you. No more grifting, people. Tired of it. It's over. And let me give you an example. Let me see if I could pull this donut factory thing up. Let's see. Show you guys what I'm talking about here. All right, here's his channel. All right, let me show you. See if we could zoom in on his thumbnail here. Okay. All right, listeners, let's get into this. All right, so you see this thumbnail right here? Let's see if it lets me fucking zoom in. Here we go. There we go. All right, so look what he does. I got to give it to you, Donut. Like, your level of griftiness on this one, unbelievable. I mean, it got you 12,000 views in the last 6 hours. So how could I blame you? But what he has, of course, he's going to show Travis Kelce making out with Taylor Swift. But here's the ingenious thing that he does. He takes Super Bowl with the V. It's LV11. I don't know why it's cut off here, but it's LV111, whatever it is. He says that equals LV3. And then he takes the 3 off the end and inverts it to an E. And he switches the L and the V so it spells evil. Donut Factory, good sir, I tip my hat to you. That is ingenious. But Z's not going to stand for it. Z's calling you out on it, Donut. Maybe you'll come talk to me eventually. Who knows? You may have popped on my show a couple days ago. We're not sure because you were under an assumed voice and name. And hell, if you're one of my listeners and like you believe that, I guess more power to you. You know, I guess just continue to be scared from grifty number counters who just lie about people consistently. I mean, you could do that, really, if you want. All right, I made my point. Kudos, good sir, kudos. Let me lower this music. Right, let me kill this. But much love. The gematria people. This is beyond gematria. I don't know what you call it. Griftotria, maybe. Z just sees through it. That's all. Let's see what Harmon's saying. Harmon says, I called into the Jaron show, and RV was a guest. He questioned me about guarding Charlie Manson. He decided I was lying just because it goes against one of his claims. Right. So you're a liar too, Harmon. Rose, how long before we see the Zetetic warrior is an Illuminati counter-operative agent on the RV channel? I'm saying the over-under on that's probably 2 months. Depends. Who knows? All right. That was fun. Let's get the show on the road. Much love, everybody. Much love to everybody. Hey, grift all you want, guys. More power to you. Z's just going to call you on it. But I will say, Rose got me thinking with her quote, the George Costanza classic. It's not a lie if you believe it. Same thing with Smith, because I don't think Smith's lying. So maybe Donut Factory and RV have the same thing Smith has. Funny enough, RV has a lot of Smith W like qualities. There is no doubt about that at all. That same like harsh voice that's like biting and like caustic, angry. I know Smith W is flipping out right now. I just know it. Like there's no doubt in my mind. He's losing his shit right now. All right, let me get my music up. Where's my segment music? There it is. Heidi, you'd be happy. My voice is a little bit better today. It's a lot better. Heidi was super observant about my voice yesterday. But we're back, Heidi. We're back. All right, let's get this thing going, peoples. Look at my crack. Let's get this damn show on the road. Much love, everybody. Get the camera on. Hola. Hi, everybody. Coming at ya. All right, everybody, prepare for liftoff. Starting now. Look into my apparently dead eyes. Good evening, everybody. Greetings and salutations. You found your way back to Z Show. That's right. It's the end of the rainbow, the bottom of the rabbit hole, and we are broadcasting live and in living color around the level horizontal realm. That's right. The realm that we call Earth. Earth, our home. Mother Earth. We love you, Mother Earth. I salute you. I don't need to be anywhere else but here. I'm not enticed by these fanciful stories of space flight and human expeditions to other galaxies. It doesn't interest me. I want to be right here with my feet planted firmly on the ground with all you lovely people. Strap in, everybody. As always, it's going to be a wild ride. Yeah. Coming at you. Who's here? Of course, Rose 777, much love. Squirrel Sniper in the house. Harmon Walker, good to see you again. Jen Unk, much love. Nuba, coming at you from the land down under. Don McRon, much love. Divine Spark 313, Heidi, much love. Marky Rizzo says vegans tend to be angry sometimes. Probably because they're hungry. Will I am, much love, much love. Capricorny in the house. Somewhere in time, lovely lady. Who else? Who else? D'Angelo, much love. London McLovin coming at us from the Rebuttal Bar. Unindoctrinated. Austin Murphy coming at you. How'd your date go, Mr. Austin Murphy? Apparently, he took a normie chick to Disneyland to try to get laid. It's all right, Austin. I won't hold it against you. I'm not against the normie trim. And we've had debates here on Z Show often whether or not normie / vaccinated chicks are still on the table. And we came to the conclusion that most likely they are. We're not going to worry about any residual spike protein or anything like that. We're just going to go for it. We're okay with it. So don't worry, Austin Murphy. Hope it worked out well for you, good sir. Judy P. again, much love. And so many more. Much love, everybody. Much love. Come on, Smith W. You don't have to just sit there seething in the background. I know you're pissed. You'll express yourself at some point. You'll blow your top, and we'll hear from you. No offense, Smith W. I just calls it like I sees it. At least you're not a grifter like some of these other clowns appear to be. I'm just saying. But either way, much love. All right, guys. Don't go anywhere. We will take a brief musical interlude, and we'll be back shortly with more Z Show. Maybe I'll sing. Maybe instead of Nathan singing, I'll sing to you guys tonight. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let me pull something. Fuck it. Is it here? I'll regale you if I can find the song. I'm in the mood to sing a very specific song right now. It's totally not gay, by the way, either. Totally not. Just saying. Where is it? Yeah, I could do this one. Make sure my vocal cords are warmed up before we get going on this one. Rosa, I wish you were up here to sing along with me, but I know that's hard to do over the internet. I'm going to sing this one solo by myself. Let me turn my camera off. All right. me. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. All right. All right. For all you lovely people at home, I'm going to give you my rendition of is anybody an Andrew Lloyd Webber fan? Have you ever seen Cats? Yeah, so what? It's one of my favorite musicals. Big deal. I don't care. You can make fun of me all you want. It doesn't matter. Where is it? Here it is. If you're a Cats fan, you'll like this one. Much love, everybody. Don't go anywhere. More Z Show coming up. Truthiness will abound shortly. But in the meantime, let me regale you. Memory, all alone in the moonlight. I can dream of the old days. Life was beautiful then. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Let the memory live again. I must wait for the sunrise. I must think of a new life, and I mustn't give in. When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too, and a new day will begin. Burnt out ends of smoky days, stale cold smell of morning. A street lamp dies, another night is over, another day is dawning. Touch me me. It's so easy to leave me all alone with the memory of my days in the sun. If you touch me, you'll understand what happiness is. Look, a new day has begun. Touch me, it's so easy to leave me all alone with the memory of my days in the sun. If you touch me, you'll understand what happiness is. Look, a new day has begun. That's right, everybody. A new day for all of us. All of us. You. I'm talking to you out there. Whether you're Heidi or Lindsay or Austin Murphy on a date with some normie chick just trying to get laid. It's a new day for everybody. It has begun. Much love. All right, back to our regularly scheduled programming. All right, let's get into some truthiness here, okay? Is there truthiness? Let's get into it. What do I have for you guys tonight? That's what we're here for. I'm not here to hear me sing off key. That's nonsense. It's goofy. Let's do something. Also, just not here to hear me just rail on all the apophilia people out there. Much love. You probably can't help it. I probably should back off because you're all kind of psycho. All right, I got something a little weird and offbeat for you guys tonight. Let me get into this. So, some of you may not know my background, his story, and it actually is my story. But I was one of these people who kind of had like some weird experiences, like at a certain age. Actually, all through my childhood and even into young adulthood, and those experiences have kind of influenced who I am, the way I see the world, the offbeat nature through which I kind of view this place. And one of the more interesting experiences I've had in my life was, let's say, when I was indulging in certain plant medicines, psychoactive, psychedelic plant medicines. Some call them entheogens, etc., etc. And during these experiences, I kind of was witness to certain things. Call them beings, entities, whatever you want. And it kind of shaped my life in a very particular way. Kind of led me here with all you guys. So what I'd like to do now is go through a list of some of the entities that people encounter, particularly when they are experiencing a DMT trip. And I would venture to guess there's probably no less than 10 people in the crowd who can say, yeah, Z, same thing happened to me. But I know there's others. Like we have Harmon here. Harmon, I would imagine that you probably, besides alcohol, haven't ever touched like a drug in your life. I guarantee you never smoked DMT. That's for damn sure. So Harmon, this one's for you. I'm going to dedicate this to you, Harmon, as we explore the 10 types of DMT entities that one may encounter on a little DMT trip. So I hope you're still here, Harmon. I know you're interested in this stuff, Harmon, because I know I've seen you hanging around that Melodome often. And, with all those cannabis users. And I never saw you partaking, at least not that I was aware of. So let's get into it. What are you saying, Gigi Abby-Lynn? Z usually says stupid stuff and then I rage quit for the night. Yeah, Gigi, because I tell it like it is. And that's why you come back, just like all the ladies do. Because you hear things that you don't like when I say women have no business being in any positions of power whatsoever at all. And they should never make any decisions that involve men. See, right now, I know your blood pressure's going up. I get it. But Z gives you the roller coaster. It's the same reason that Lindsay can't stop listening and can't stop coming back. I see you there, Gigi. Don't worry. I see you. All right, let me get into this. You're distracting me, Gigi, as you're apt to do. All right, I'm not going to focus on you anymore, Gigi. Calm down. I know you don't like being the center of attention, even though you do. All right, let's get into this. Let's talk about the DMT entities. Hey, if you're a skeptic out there and you're hearing this, your buddy Z's here to tell you that maybe you should open your mind a little bit, because this shit's as real as it gets. And make no mistake about it, these aren't aberrations. People aren't making these things up. This is the real deal. Harmon, right on cue, says, Z, the Melodome group tried talking me into doing mushrooms. I just laughed at him. All right, well, this is for you, Harmon. Like I said, I'm glad you're paying attention. Here we go. Let's get into it. Much love, everybody. Everybody calm down. Don't be so sensitive all the time. People need to relax.
Dimethyltryptamine, or DMT, is a powerful psychedelic substance that can produce intense and profound experiences. The effects of DMT can vary widely depending on the individual, the dosage, and the setting in which it is consumed. While under the influence of DMT, individuals may encounter a range of different entities or beings. Here are 10 types of entities that are commonly reported by people who have used DMT. One of the entities encountered while under the influence of DMT is the jester or trickster entity. This entity is often described as having a clown-like appearance and a mischievous demeanor. They may appear as a single entity or as a group, and they are known to play tricks on those who encounter them.
So how many people in the audience just said, what's Christos doing back on Z show? Much love, Christos. Much love. Christos knows all about this. These jester weirdos. We go to the circus, right? You have the jesters, the clowns. We have things like Mardi Gras. You have all these kind of, they're basically related to Catholicism. Right around this time of year, actually. Carnival usually precedes the season of Lent. You see things like this. Well, your buddy Z's here to tell you that these things are less imagination and more real. It says a lot about the realm that we live in, what this place is. One of my goals is to try to break people of their pre-indoctrinated beliefs and concepts of this world. I've spoken before about how we learn things, how our neurology develops. There's a concept called neuroplasticity. Our neurology is highly plastic up until about the age of 8 through 12. Then it starts to solidify somewhat. You always maintain a degree of plasticity, but nothing near the level of childhood and development through adolescence. Now, if you were, let's say, brought up in a particular culture, your worldview is going to reflect that due to your neurology. You will have certain beliefs and understandings. You may see this world as The Almighty God with a long beard sitting on a throne up in heaven, looking down on you, waiting to judge you. You might see the world like that. You might see the world in so many ways. But what does experience tell us? Because there's commonalities amongst certain psychedelic and transcendental experiences that cannot be ignored. Experiences that run across gender, culture, age. This is one of them, these experiences. So these jesters, who are they? What may they be? We live in a world that's much stranger than people would like to teach us.
One user of DMT described their experience commonly encountered while under.
Let's go to here.
Commonly encountered while under the influence of DMT is the entity of light. These entities are often described as having a bright, glowing appearance and emanating a sense of love and compassion. They may appear as a single entity or as a group, and they are known to communicate messages of love and unity to those who encounter them.
So that would be nice. Look, if I'm under like an intense DMT trip, I'd much rather come across these beings of light than those weird jester weirdos. They sound a lot nicer. Bring that on. By the way, there's multiple types of DMT. I'll say a lot of people know this. There's a plant-derived DMT, but then there's a DMT derived from frogs. It's called like 5-MeO or something like that. You could look it up. And it apparently has different qualities than the plant-derived. Let's continue.
Another type of entity that can be encountered while under the influence of DMT is the alien or extraterrestrial entity. These entities are often described as having a non-human appearance, with unusual features such as elongated limbs, large eyes, or unusual skin texture. They may appear as a single entity or as a group, and they are known to communicate messages related to the nature of the universe and the purpose of human existence. One user.
All right, so this kind of reminds me of like the archetype of the gray, right? The gray alien, machine-like, somewhat malevolent, etc., etc. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting with whatever the hell that is. All right, let's move on. Let's see what we have here.
Can be encountered while under the influence of DMT is the machine elf or clockwork elf. These entities are often described as having a mechanical or robotic appearance and may appear as a single entity or as a group. They are known to be highly intelligent and communicate messages related to the nature of reality and the structure of the universe.
So I first heard about these machine elves years ago. They were actually, years ago. Somebody was describing their experience under the influence, and they mentioned the machine elves. And then I was doing research on them. Very fascinating. They seem to kind of be involved with themselves, and they kind of come and they do these weird tricks. They show you things, manipulate matter. Another name for them is called the clockwork elves. I believe the machine elves and the clockwork elves are similar because they have this like clockwork-like, these clockwork-like mechanistic bodies, believe it or not. And I know, like, if you're not like into this, this is going to sound very crazy to you. But again, make no mistake about it. As real as it gets.
Some individuals have reported encountering entities during DMT trips that they describe as demons. These entities are often described as having a terrifying appearance with dark, menacing features and a sense of malevolence or aggression. They may communicate negative messages related to the individual's self-worth, personal power, or place in the universe.
That one kind of speaks for itself.
Type of entity that some individuals report encountering during DMT trips are angels or angelic beings. These entities are often described as having a loving, benevolent presence and may be associated with feelings of peace, comfort, and spiritual guidance.
So we just went from demons to angels, that are kind of met on this plane, this psychedelic plane that people enter. I mean, not a stretch. I mean, just a reminder for everybody, there's not much difference between a demon and an angel. They seem to be the same thing, just different degrees. They say a lot of these demons were supposedly fallen angels, whatever that means. If you take it out of a religious context and put it more into a mental framework, a framework of consciousness, you can kind of see the correlation. Similar in nature, but different in degree, as so many things are in this world. Counterparts, complementary, if you will. Is it possible that you may receive just as much benefit from a demon as an angel? Sometimes the best learning experiences are the ones that are unpleasant. Just saying. Let's continue.
Of entity that some individuals report encountering during DMT trips are animal spirits or entities. These entities are often described as having a powerful and primal presence and may be associated with a sense of connection to nature and the animal kingdom.
That one's kind of cool. And if you guys are wondering, Z, which one of these did you see? Well, I'll just let you guys use your imagination for that one.
Another type of entity that some individuals report encountering during DMT trips are snakes or serpent entities. These entities are often described as having a powerful and transformative presence and may be associated with healing and transformation.
Again, the serpent. I've said numerous times how the serpent has been vilified in our modern culture, basically through the standard religions that we're presented with, at least the Abrahamic ones. We find this persistent story about the snake. Here it's presenting the snake as something different. Many older cultures that, maybe weren't the winners throughout history, so their story kind of gets changed and lost. Many of these cultures considered the snake to be a symbol and a being of knowledge, wisdom. Even in the Bible, the Christ figure says, "Be wise as serpents."
Can you help us? We need a driver.
Wise as serpents, gentle as doves. You can even look back all the way to the Sumerian culture and their depictions of certain beings, and you find that the serpent may be something much different than what's been presented. Let's continue.
DMT trips are dark beings or entities. These entities are often described as having a sinister and malevolent presence and may be associated with fear, anxiety, and feelings of being stalked or pursued. Unlike demons, which are often associated with religious beliefs and typically have a well-defined appearance, dark entities encountered during DMT trips are more nebulous and may take on different forms depending on the individual's interpretation. One user of
Again, a more malevolent one. After going through these, you might wonder, why do people even do this? And why would you do it twice? But again, like I said, sometimes the best teachers in this world are, should I say, some of the best lessons that we could learn, or maybe ones that we weren't really asking for. Lessons that we may have avoided if we had a choice. I'm sure many of us can look through our own lives and realize this understanding. Let's continue.
Another type of entity that some individuals report encountering during DMT trips are undefined beings. These entities are often described as being difficult to describe or define, with appearances that are constantly shifting and changing. Overwhelming. The use of DMT has been associated with the experience of encountering a wide range of entities, each with its own unique appearance and characteristics. From angels to animal spirits, snakes to undefined beings, and everything in between. The descriptions of these entities provide a fascinating glimpse into the mystical and spiritual experiences that can occur during a DMT trip. It is important to note, however, that the entities encountered during DMT experiences are highly subjective and can vary widely from one individual to the next. Furthermore, there may be many other types of entities out there that have not yet been encountered or described.
There you have it, everybody. A little trip through the DMT entities. And I know I hate these corny AI-produced, AI-voiced segments, but they're all over YouTube now. And we can use these as a launching point for conversation. So I don't know. What do you think, Harmon? Did I convince you? I mean, I know the Melodome couldn't get you to do shrooms, but what do you think, Harmon? You going to be heading down to Mexico, any of these South American countries for a DMT trip? If you do, Harmon, make sure you you videotape. Make sure you record it for everybody. Put it on your YouTube channel, along with that video of you taking the temperature of the moonlight. We want to see it, Harmon. Rose will replay it on her channel for you. Just in case anybody was wondering, yours truly has never participated in the DMT experience. My experience was through a plant called Salvia divinarum. You can look it up. A long time ago, when I was a young pup, and things are a little bit different in this country, you were able to find certain things at like head shops. And one of those was Salvia divinarum. It was out of control, though, because they used to have it as like an extract. So it'd be like 20x or like 30 times the strength extract. And me kind of being like how I am, I picked up the strongest one they had, and I went online, and I just kind of looked up how you do it, and just basically smoke it in like a water bong. I had like a bubbler. You don't see bubblers too much anymore. Whatever happened to the bubbler? It's basically like a bong that's a pipe. Anyway, boy oh boy, I took the biggest, milky white hit you could ever imagine, and I would say within 20 seconds, I was basically surrounded by a bunch of gremlins, just laughing at me. You could imagine. It was quite unexpected. And for those who are doubters, they'll say, well, you just expected to see that. You had a preconception. The answer is no. I had no preconception of the experience. That's how I know it's real. I was just an idiot in like the early 2000s. I had done no research on it. I just went to the store. Somebody said, oh, it's crazy, you know. You kind of trip off of it. So why did I see these jester gremlins? And then after I was done, I went online, and guess what? I found countless other people who had the exact same experience. So just know these things aren't coincidental. What they are, how it happens, we could argue about that. But to me, this gives us insight into the nature of this reality and what it is really. We think that this physical world is physical as such, just because we're seeing it from our perception in this 3D reality. We're basically matter, observing matter. But if you were able to take a higher view, let's say a view of the mind of the all or the source, well, my contention is we see this world as more like energy, probably just a particular frequency of energy existing along a very large spectrum of energy that makes up ultimate reality. The example would be the visual light spectrum. What we see with our vision is just a very narrow bandwidth of the entire electromagnetic spectrum, very small bandwidth. We know the energy exists outside of what we see because we can evidence it. Things like radio waves, microwaves, gamma rays, X-rays. It's all just electromagnetic energy. It's just through our vision and our visual system, we can sense and perceive some of this electromagnetic energy with our eyes. That's all. The point is, the energy exists nonetheless, even though it's beyond our perception. You can even look at things like infrared technology. You could put on infrared goggles and look at the sky, and you will see things that you probably couldn't believe. Things that exist in the sky and even around you that are just below your visual perception, but they're nonetheless. And infrared would be the basically the lower frequencies right below the red light spectrum. And you can use technologies to see even above the blue, which would be the higher frequency light spectrum or light frequency. There's a certain dye, I believe it's called like Dicinian dye, that you can use in certain goggles and lenses to see into the ultra vision spectrum. So you have infrared, right? And then you have the spectrum of higher frequency above the visual light. I like to point to these things because they evidence a world of consciousness, a world that is mind. Just like the ancients told us, all is mind, plain and simple. This isn't hyperbole. They were telling us something. These aren't just the metaphysics, but this is the physics of this reality. The science that we've been taught is merely conjecture. The subatomic world is a model that is unevidenced, just as unevidenced as the so-called solar system. The overwhelming likelihood is that all that really exists is electrical energy, frequency, vibration. That's what makes up this world. It's evidenced all around us. We can demonstrate frequency forming matter. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. All right, let's move on. What else do I have for y'all? Let's get into this. Yeah, let's get into here. Let's give a nod to all my flat Earth peoples and my non-flat Earth peoples. And now I have a bunch. I'm learning. I have a significant number of non-flat Earthers at my channel. It may be 50-50, right down the middle. Maybe 60-40 flat Earthers to non. So, at least for the near future, I'm going to continue to hammer home the flat Earth stuff. And sometimes we get super detailed, like yesterday when I played the Beyond the Imaginary Curve clip of our friend Dell giving us his feelings on gravity and the supposed, rising Earth. But sometimes we go to Flat Earth 101 just to hammer it home. All right, let's get into it. Here's the first one. Listen to this dude.
What up, fam? We got to talk about some pseudoscience, and that being Jupiter. They claim that this is the clearest picture ever taken of Jupiter, which is really just CGI from NASA, but allegedly it's from their Juno cam in 2019. All right, now this is what Jupiter looks like under a very nice telescope. This footage is from David Shan. If you don't know who he is, go follow him. Dude's a legend.
So let's take a look at Jupiter under telescope. Again, pseudoscience versus reality, like he said. That's what you see with Jupiter, a so-called planet. If you want to see anything else, like I'm showing here in the small box, let me make this bigger. You have to rely on NASA. So there's what you can demonstrate and what the pseudoscientific intelligentsia is telling us that they can demonstrate. But you have to understand, when you talk about the scientific method, something has to be observable, measurable, testable, and repeatable. Without the repeatability, it is no proof. So just because NASA tells you that something looks a certain way, that is no evidence unless it can be repeated. Then you might say, oh, Z, what about all these other countries? They have things in space and they're seeing the same thing. And I'll say to you, cool story. Let's continue.
The legend. This is what Jupiter actually looks like. So they claim that Jupiter is just shy of 400 million miles away. Yeah, you heard that right. 400 million miles away.
I'll say it again. 400 million. They say the sun is 93 million. 93 million miles from us. And they say Jupiter's 400 million. What is that? Roughly 4 times? Which would be considered 4 astronomical units from the sun. An astronomical unit is that 93 million miles from the supposed sun, or the supposed 93 million miles from the sun to Earth.
And you believe that? We go outside and we see a light in the sky and you think it's this other world that's 400 million miles away? Are you kidding me? And this little red dot right here? You're supposed to believe that that's bigger than the entire Earth. Bruh, talk about pseudoscience. Yeah, this right here, which is just more CGI, you believe that that's bigger than the entire Earth.
So that picture right there of the Jupiter storm there, that red dot, they tell you that there's a big probe out there, 400 million miles away, that we're perfectly controlling, that it could fly by this huge gas giant planet Jupiter and not be sucked into its gravity, because we have it all planned out, all the motions and mechanisms of the planets. See, the story is incredulous, yet everybody believes it.
That's absurd. That's insanity. You have no proof of that whatsoever. You guys believe that Jupiter is so big that you could fit over 1,300 Earths in Jupiter. You guys actually believe that. All right, so here's a comparison for you. If the Earth was in a heliocentric model and that was the ball, this would be the size of Jupiter. That's absurd. You guys make these absurd claims that it's this big and this far away and it's made out of all these gases, etc. That's nonsense. You have no proof of that at all. At all. You guys have to say that it's that big because it's the only way to match your little heliosexual model.
And he nailed it there. You have to say it's that big. You see, when you look at things like angular size, and you look at the movements of these wandering stars, these so-called planets in the sky, once you start making up the math, which we reviewed last week, is derived off the transit of Venus in front of our sun, which was based on an ingenious assumption, is the quote, that Venus has the same radius as Earth. Based on that ingenious assumption, all the distances and sizes of the planets are derived off an assumption. Why did it take the flat earthers to dig through all the catacombs of so-called science to relay this to you? Why? Why did it take a flat earther or a bunch of flat earthers to sit here and tell you that because Kepler theorized a heliocentric model with scaling in AU units, and then we, based off the angular size of Venus transiting the sun, off an ingenious assumption of Venus's radius and thus diameter, well, all the sizes and distances of the planets were derived. But of course, then they tell us, well, now we verified that because we're there. We sent a probe to Venus, dummy flat earthers. Don't you know that? We sent probes out to deep space. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 are still going. Well, apparently the one glitched out recently, so. But either way. So I guess that assumption was ingenious. Good job. When you saw a little speck of a dot that we know as Venus transit the sun, and you just assumed, well, I think that little speck of dot is just as big as Earth. That was ingenious. How'd you nail it? Because it turns out when we sent a bunch of shit up there, it all worked out perfectly. Just like how science fiction predicted what space is decades, if not more than a century. If you looked in mid-1800s and some of the stories from Jules Verne and all these people. Again, ingenious assumptions on science fiction's part, because in stories and then later movies, they exactly predicted exactly what space would be. They knew it would be a vacuum where things float, where you can have things like satellites, and that we can go to the moon using rocket booster technology and come back. Yeah. A lot of ingenious assumptions with these scientists. Let's continue.
You wouldn't be able to see something, let alone with your naked eye, or with a camera, you wouldn't even be able to resolve something that's 400 million miles away. That's absurd. Here's another CGI from their Juno cam that you guys think is real. I hate to break it to you, friends, but this is not real. So you guys need to actually wake up and stop living in the Matrix and taking the blue pill. Because we're out here exposing the lies while you guys are staying indoctrinated, deceived, and believing complete nonsense.
Thank you, brother. I like what he said there. If you think you could see and resolve with your vision something 400 million miles away, well, you better think again. Let's talk about a little something called light dissipation and how light dissipates. You can look at a formula. Anybody could look it up. It's called the inverse square. Light dissipates at the inverse of its square. All right. Sound does the same thing. That's how energy dissipates, because it does so in a three a 3D domain. There's an x-axis, there's a y-axis, and there's a z-axis. Turns out we live in a 3D reality. Who would have thought? Light dissipates at the inverse of its square. What that means is, at each doubling of distance, it's 1/4 of its light intensity. Not a half, it's a quarter. So if you are, let's say, 10 feet away from a light bulb, and there's X intensity, if you then move 20 feet away from that light bulb, it is now 25% of that X intensity. Anybody who knows anything about math can understand very quickly that because this is now increasing non-linearly, it's a non-linear decrease in light intensity, you wouldn't have to go very far before you couldn't see a thing. Just like you don't have to go very far before you couldn't hear a thing. Again, all depending on the baseline intensity. What are you saying, Z? What are you saying, Z? What I'm saying is you couldn't see anything 400 million miles away, no matter how big or bright it was. And especially, you couldn't see Jupiter 400 million miles away if it's reflecting the sun's light. Because think about it. Not only are we seeing it from 3 million miles away, depending, I guess if we're in a certain bit of our supposed orbit, it's 500 million miles away. But again, we're seeing reflected light. So what they're saying is that light travels from the sun. And we know how bright the sun is at 93 million miles because we apparently experienced that, right? So what they're telling us is that same sun, that light is traveling 400 million miles to Jupiter, where it's being reflected off a big ball of gas, coming back another 300 million or even 500 million to us. And they're telling us, yeah, you could see that. Sorry, it's impossible. And I'll go back to my standard refrain. You don't live in a globe and you don't live in a solar system because it is scientifically impossible. Let's continue.
Where your Hubble telescope images come from. A special purpose 747 airliner with...
All right, so I should have prepped this. So they tell you there's a Hubble telescope, and it's like 350 miles above Earth's surface. And people say, see, look, there's a telescope. There's a dumb image from it. Well, this guy's maybe going to tell you what the Hubble telescope actually is.
With a telescope attached called the Sophia. This is why the Hubble and the Sophia images are indistinguishable from each other. They come from the exact same place. And that place, my friends, is not in outer space because space is not a real place.
Right, so he didn't make up this Sophia. Funny name, Sophia. I mean, talk about ritualistic occult references. They tell you there's this Sophia. And why do the Sophia pictures look so much like the Hubble space ones? Interesting. Let's continue. This one I've titled, Earth is so big that you can't see curvature except when you're on the beach. Oh, right. So I've had people say to me in discourse, and you guys know I've discoursed with a lot of globies. Earth is so big, Z. Of course you can't see curvature. Of course you can't see it. Because I'm like, look, here's a balloon 128,000 feet in the air. There's no curvature. Here's images and here's reports from an SR-71 pilot who's saying he's 85,000 feet in the air. There's no curvature. And you say, yeah, because you can't see it. You have to go higher. Neil deGrasse Tyson said you can't even see it at 62 miles, which is the proposed height of the Blue Origin that Jeff Bezos crafts. But then in the same breath, you're going to tell me that you can see curvature from the beach when boats go over the horizon. Do you see the doublespeak and absurdity? Again, it's like I always say, the heliocentric model and argument is not logical. It's just emotional. All you need is logic, everybody. Logic is the key to understanding. And I think logic is instinctive.
In this video, and it's supposed to explain why we can't see the curvature of Earth. And the premise of the video is that Earth is so gigantic in relation to us. We are so microscopic on Earth that we couldn't possibly see any curvature. Now, the only problem with this argument is that it negates another argument, which is that we can see boats disappear going over the curvature of Earth standing on the beach. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that Earth is so large you can't see the curvature, and then in the same breath say that there's enough curvature over 3 miles to make an entire ship disappear. It doesn't make sense. We have a person standing here that's witnessing a ship vanish right before their eyes. Now, what could make this ship vanish if there is no curvature in between the person and the ship? Convergence, maybe?
Convergence, maybe? Exactly. Perspective? Angular resolution? Thank you, my melanated brother. Guess what? The flat earth understanding knows no boundaries, knows no gender, knows no race.
The obvious. You can either take it or leave it. It's up to you. But this is your reality. Your perception of reality will not change the facts. And to see this, you need only to be a critical thinker. I think that's the issue here. Most globe enthusiasts don't think critically.
Yep. I want to show this for people who are really paying attention. You may have not seen this. What you're seeing here, when we say, us crazy flat earthers, about convergence and perspective and angular resolution, when we say, hey, when you were all taught that that darn boat is going over the horizon, it's not demonstrably, because you can take a high-powered telephoto lens, like a P900 or P1000. You could even take binoculars and a telescope. You can go to the beach and you could prove this to yourself. You can watch a boat going in the distance. When it disappears, where it was supposedly going over the horizon, you can take the lens out, the zoom lens, and you see it come right into view. I'm going to show you right here again. Watch it. There's no boat. It's already gone from standard view. Watch what happens when you zoom in. Full view. Guys, this isn't a trick. This isn't doctored photography. At this point, if you're a globie, your cognitive dissonance will likely kick in and your confirmation bias. You'll just claim, well, I don't know where this video came from. There's hundreds, if not thousands of these. This is known even to globe defenders. They've stopped using this as an excuse. That's why they can't stop talking about Southern Star rotations and the Southern Cross. Because their tried and true, oh, idiot, boats go over the horizon, was debunked a long time ago. I hope some of you guys are paying attention. I know you're not, Illumitami. I know you'd rather just play WWF games on here. Fine, we can do that. All right, everybody. Let's open it up. Link to join is in the chat. Feel free to come on up and chop it up with your pal Z. Oh, Smith is here. I don't know, Smith. I don't know if you heard my my show earlier, Mr. Smith W. You might not be very happy with me. RT says the inner ear tells the story. Do tell, RT. Do tell. No, I don't agree with you, RT. I don't agree with you. I can tell you why. If you want to get into it, RT, we can. RT says, talk about the rising Earth theory. He concludes that the so-called upward thrust theory to explain gravity should be summarily debunked by a qualified audiologist with a doctorate degree, such as me, yours truly, Satiric Warrior. No, RT. I disagree. Because it's uniform. It's uniform upward motion. There's no acceleration. Now, you might say it's uniform acceleration, but your inner ear responds to acceleration, deceleration. We can get into it more, RT. I don't want to bore the audience to tears. I'm more interested in how Smith W's feeling after I kind of lambasted him. The lovely Lindsay Smith is here. Lindsay, how did you think our interaction went last night? I thought it went maybe better than expected. Some people thought it was a train wreck. Oh, I see you back there, Doctor. Hold on, Doc. Hold on. I'll give you a second, Doc, to oh my God. But yeah, RT, if you want to have the conversation, we can have it. I'm all over the place right now. All right, so as many of you know, I have been quite interested in the illustrious, the lovely Dr. Kelly Brogan. Now, not only am I entranced by her obvious sexuality, but I'm also basically bewitched by her intelligence. She's the whole package, Dr. Kelly Brogan. Maybe I should pull her up in the back for the people who don't know who I'm talking about. And I know my listeners come here and they're like, Z, you're obsessed. You're so obsessed with these women. You're never going to get laid. They're never going to give you any. So why do you keep talking about them? But again, it's just my obsessive nature. I almost can't help it. So let me pull up Dr. Because I have a guest in the back who kind of looks like Dr. Kelly, but has a different name. Well, let me pull up Dr. Kelly first. Where are you, Dr. Kelly? The lovely Dr. Kelly Brogan. Maybe we're going to get to meet you tonight. I don't know. Like, you kind of look like Dr. Kelly in the back. Yeah, let me pull up Dr. Kelly so my audience remembers who she is, because we are enthralled by her here in Z Show. Me and all my listeners, including you, Nuba, especially you, Nuba. Yeah, here we go. Let's pull her up. As a reminder, where are you, lovely? There you are.
My journey from somebody who was in $200,000 of debt to building a consistent 7-figure business where I work a maximum of 3 to 4 hours a week. I've also been studying those women around me who have achieved something very similar, where they have arrived at what is called ikigai in Japanese. This crossover of service.
Mr. Axis Rapla, what do you think about this, Dr. Kelly?
Try not to be swayed by the female persuasion or the male persuasion. I prefer to stay abstinent from relationships or even simping or the, naturally I find women beautiful at times. But after my encounters with 2 marriages, I choose to abstain for my own safety.
Gotcha. So you're abstaining because you feel like you don't even want your energy to even go there and divert your like life essence to something that at this point really doesn't give back. What I find, Raplet, is energy that is expounded on the modern woman it's not typically reciprocated. I see the archetype of like the witch, the Jezebel. I understand why it runs through popular zeitgeist. What are your thoughts on that?
I've spent 15 years completely with me. Not even so much as a hug or a kiss or any type of. I'm very hesitant to even touch people because of energy exchange, and I feel that um, this basic um, social development of the woman and the man, and how that through history has never truly come to any type of benefit that I've ever seen, other than temporarily. Once the newness wears off, then the hostilities begin, which is what I encountered with my marriages. And I found that my studies and my personal growth was more important to me. And when I learned to love myself, I was pretty content with that. And sharing that love with somebody who may not respect the amount of love that I can acknowledge with myself, that's just detrimental to me. And
I
especially
feel that, man.
in today's uh, social um, engineering, I'm just I'm a throwback, and I'm completely
Hold on, Rat
into
Blood. Your mic about 10 seconds ago started to glitch you out. Take care. I'll
a.
bring you up in a bit, all right? Hold on, I'll bring you up in a bit. Okay. Without any further ado, are you there, Dr. Jelly? Yeah, so I've been trying to get Dr. Kelly Brogan here, but apparently I have somebody here named Dr. Jelly Brogan. Let me bring her up. Let me see what's going on here. Hold on. Hold on a second. Let me
Z, it is such a pleasure to be here today. And I'm just so grateful to just have the opportunity to display all of my havingness. I am just feeling full of abundance today. And I don't know if you can feel that, the resonance that we have with each other. But
I can totally feel the resonance. I feel like we're vibrating and on the same consciousness, Dr. Jelly. Thank you.
yeah, just being here in the presence of all of these beautiful souls with our own retrospective creativity and having this together, we could really just come to accept our whole bodies. And before we begin, I just want everyone here to just kind of loosen up a little bit. And I want you to, don't be shy, but just touch yourself a little bit. Z, could you touch yourself for me? I want you to feel the bliss.
Dr. Jelly, I'm way ahead of you.
I really want you to understand that, especially like, you could touch yourself like right here. And it could also just like bring you into a completely different reality. Or you could just take a crystal and you could kind of like stick it in your cleavage. And then it's just really entering the heart chakra. And then, oh, did you feel that?
Oh, I felt it.
Ah, ah.
Dr. Kelly, thank you. Dr. Jelly.
This is my voice reclamation. You cannot interrupt it. Okay? My hymen.
Dr. Jelly, I think your cat just achieved total consciousness there. And I think you just activated my crown chakra. Finally, I've been waiting all these years, and now my crown chakra has been activated. Thank you. Dr. Kelly, if you will indulge us with an interview here. I know you are such a special genius. You are a doctor, of course, a psychiatrist. Some have conjectured that you are indeed the Harley Quinn archetype of the DC comic universe. But either way, can you please let us know what is the key to beingness and the key to havingness? How do I achieve ultimate havingness, please?
You have to live without fear in showing people your abundant success. You can't be afraid of telling people how much money you've made. For example, I fully embrace that I came into this realm full of abundance, and I am proud of my Jewish Ashkenazi havingness. It actually scares me to imagine coming into this realm without the conditions that I was given by the universe that I chose in advance. And so if you're not aware of your havingness and your willingness to project it out to everyone else, if they can't observe your success, does it really exist?
Wow. You just brought my whole audience, not just me, to a higher level of havingness. I never want to lose this feeling, Dr. Jelly. Without you, I mean, I know that I could sign up for your program and I'll have you on call 5 minutes a day, twice a week. But besides paying you exorbitant amounts of money to achieve havingness, what else could I do? Do you recommend like Kegels, pole dancing? Help us out here.
You have to look deep into yourself and be comfortable with just being alone in your inner beauty. You've been rejecting the inner beauty inside of yourself, Z. You are not accepting the fact that you have a soul that wants to come out. It wants to be expressed. And so what I would suggest is take all of your clothes off every single night. And I want you to stand in front of the mirror, Z. And I want you to love your penis, okay? I want you to say, I love you, penis. And your penis is going to bring you all of the abundance that you could ever imagine, because you have to be proud of being a man. And you can't let all of the social engineering that is preventing you from accepting the fact that you do have a penis. Okay, Z? You have to love your penis. That's the first step.
You know, Doc, you might have just got to the heart of my issue. I've never truly loved my penis. I've actually been quite cruel to my penis. I've abused it kind of my whole life in multiple ways. So that's the key. I must manifest a lovingness, a havingness, and a beingness towards my penis. You're genius, Doc. How much typically does it cost to receive a session from you to basically be graced with your Zen-like, guru-like genius?
Well, it's really a sliding scale depending on the amount of energy that I'm going to have to take out of my day for you. So after the initial assessment, I would probably give you an itemized list of offerings that I would be giving to you, which could range anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 for every 30 minutes.
Well, that's not bad. I kind of figured that because you mentioned in one of your other videos that you basically want to make a 7-figure salary on 3 hours of work a week. So 3 hours a week, and divided by, I guess, a 7-figure salary. So I get it. Probably half hour of your time is at least a couple thousand, probably more. I think, honestly, I think it's a bargain, Doc. Actually, I do. I think it's a bargain.
Yes, because it's information that you'll be able to create exponential abundance on a continuous basis. So it's an investment in your entire future.
Oh, it's exponential abundance on a continuous basis.
Yes, see, I'm sensing a
Mm.
little tension still, though. Are you? Could you roll your shoulders back a little bit so I could hear a little bit of a release of tension? I feel like you need to release a little bit more.
All right, I'm releasing. Doc. I released about 5 minutes ago, but I can try to release again if you want. I'm not a young man anymore, but you know.
That's really good, Z. Really good. Did you feel that again?
I can. I can feel it. We're in synchronous resonance here.
We are definitely connected right now in another realm. And I really feel that if you hired me, it would bring us even closer together.
Well, here's the thing. I have a gentleman, you might have saw him. His name is Axis Rat Blood, and he just indicated to me that it's been a number of years since he's engaged in his life energy, his sexual energy. It appears to be dormant. Is there any way we could bring Rat Blood up here, Mr. Axis Rat Blood, and try to wake up this extinct sexual desire that lies deep within him?
Is he willing to open up to his havingness?
Let's ask him.
Okay.
Rat Blood, how's your havingness?
I'm receptive to everything. I'm open to all possibilities.
All right, so here's what we're going to do at the Z Show. We're going to watch you go through a little therapy session with Dr. Jelly Brogan. Now, she is a doctor, Rat Blood, so remember, this is all basically, it's medical therapy. This is all legit. It's above the board, Rat Blood, so you're in good hands, all right? So I'm going to excuse you two for a therapy session, but I do ask you, Rat Blood, please turn yourself over to the process. Trust the good doctor, and let us all experience the obvious and transformation that you most surely will undergo. Okay.
I will endeavor.
All right.
Axis Rat Blood, I have brought one of my biggest amethyst crystals out just for you today. I want you to look into the crystal. Okay? Are you looking?
Yes, most certainly am.
Okay. I want you to imagine this crystal in your mind's eye. And then inside of the crystal, I want you to visualize yourself as a 4-year-old child. I want you to look at yourself as a 4-year-old boy. And I want you to say hello. Can you do that for me? Just say hello. Okay?
Most certainly. I keep a very close relationship with my inner child, especially to the point of birth. I mean, it's a part of me, it's the whole of me. Yes.
Okay. Now I would like you to give your 4-year-old self a hug and tell yourself that you love yourself. Can you do that?
I will endeavor, yes, absolutely. Allow me a second.
Try it right now.
That inner child and that state of being in the mind's eye. Okay. I'm 4 years old. I'm present. And yeah, the little fella's all right, man. Good people.
Are you okay with accepting your havingness and that this 4-year-old child was the genesis of the most creative, most powerful, most masculine, most abundant and successful king hero that we are all sitting with at this very moment? Are you willing to accept that as a truth, that you are a worthy man and that your penis is okay? And it's okay that you have a penis?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, that 4-year-old child grew into a individual who endeavored into extreme fetish and various forms of heterosexual exploration, and probably pushed all possible fulfillment limits that I could. So, yeah, absolutely. I feel greatly comfortable with that.
Wonderful. Now that we have gone through that segment of your self-acceptance, your havingness, and the abundance of your masculinity, I'd like to ask you a question.
Sure.
Who in this realm of existence has hurt you the most?
I would say that my desires that are probably a little, let's say, not average, and the approach that I take with certain sexual exploitations, nothing illegal, nothing beyond the bounds of the, consensual adults, but that can only be sustained in an individual that I am actually experiencing this with, to the point that the newness wears off. There's nothing quite like the feel of something new. And once that is gone, such as my ex-wives, then it leaves a void, a hurt, and an emptiness.
I want you to take all of the negative experiences and hurt that you've ever felt, and I want you to place it inside of this rose quartz, copper wrapped crystal. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all that pain and we're going to release it up through the copper tree and back into the ether, where it can be recycled for true positive abundance and healing. And I command it to be true.
I'm willing to accept that.
All right. Now, are you ready to reclaim your voice?
Let's see how it went.
Repeat after me.
Okay.
Go ahead. That was beautiful. It's working.
And one thing that I think has been essential is the resolution of rejection around when we have even we want to experience how fulfilling
A little bit out of my vocal range, but I can empathize.
to live in abundance and to serve the collective. When you believe that wealth and service are fundamentally at odds, then you've engaged the good-bad split, and you've made one good, service, and the other bad, wealth. So resolving this rejection of wealth is actually quite a simple process and one that I would love to give you permission to explore. There are a couple of quick steps I can share. One is to actually concern yourself and interest yourself in the story from the part of you that believes that being wealthy is bad and wrong. Care about it, listen to it. Don't make that part bad and wrong in your pursuit of your embodied, audacious, entrepreneurial identity. Number two is to titrate into havingness. So most of us don't have the nervous system capacity to hold what it is that we want. That's why you can make the money and lose the money very easily if you are not ready. So to titrate into havingness, one of the easiest ways to do it is to begin to celebrate with safe girlfriends and to make a practice of acknowledging that which you would otherwise diminish while you're focusing on the problems that you love to fetishize. And the third is the paradigm flip of rendering as service that which you would formerly have categorized as simple, superfluous wealth. So how is it that you're as a woman, especially a woman who gets it, okay? And if you're listening to this, obviously you are that. How is it that your wealth as a woman is actually your service? Right? How can you begin to blend into a mixed object what we are calling wealth, right? And recognize that your experience of abundance and the specific wisdom that comes through your heart is actually what is needed by the collective right now. So I am excited to share many hot tips and cheat codes in my masterclass called Audacious Entrepreneurship, where I have diluted what it is I believe you need to myth bust so that you can step into your most audacious expression as an entrepreneur.
Oh, I can't wait. I need to step into my most audacious expression of something. Oh my God. Oh no, it hurts. Oh man. Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna drop the link in. Hold on. Let's take a musical. I have to recover from that. I'm actually hurting. I'm so glad we're access because there's no way I could have stayed part of that skit. It was I was laughing too hard. Come on up. Come on up. I saw you there, Smith. I know you're pissed at me, Smith. I know you are. So let's just have it out. We just might as well. Let's take a musical interlude. Don't go anywhere. More show coming up after this. Oh, he can't write this shit. Much love, everybody. See you in a bit.
This song is for Lamsey. Special dedication here. Lamsey and all that Lamsey represents. You can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. See that girl, watch that scene, dig in the dancing queen. It's Friday night and the lights are low, looking out for a place to go where they play the right music, getting in the swing. You come to look for a king. Anybody could be that guy.
Can I be that guy, Nathan?
Night is young and the music's high. With a bit of rock music, everything is fine. You're in the mood for a dance. And when you get the chance, you are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17.
Come on, Jack, sing along. You know the words.
No.
Dancing queen, feel the beat from the tambourine. You can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. See that girl, watch that scene, dig in the dancing queen.
Mm.
Apocalypse Cabaret.
The incomparable Nathan Sanders, everybody. Give him a round of applause. He deserves it. We love you, Nathan. Jack knows good stuff when he hears it.
I do. Dude, your show is hats off, right? Thank you, Z. Your dreams, you bring it, brother.
I don't know, Jack. I may have the most fucked up show ever to grace the YouTube airways. I don't know, man. Who knows, dude? It's crazy. So I don't know, Jack. You just saw Dr. Jelly Brogan. What do you think? And what do you think about that Dr. Kelly Brogan? I think they should team up as a duo. You know, I think Dr. Kelly and Dr. Jelly should meet each other. Oops.
I thought they had.
Oh, they have. You're right. They met years ago. They need to get back. They need to get back together.
Yes.
Well, let me bring up this Dr. Kelly, Jack, because I kind of look at her and I look at you, and I think you might want to take some notes because this chick has it down, Jack. She is a master of linguistics and subtle manipulation to a level that I think is probably unseen on this earth. Let's bring her up. Hold on. Let's get her up here, and then we'll bring Rose up. No more Dr. Jelly. I think Dr. Jelly needs a break after that one. I did also notice, Jack. I'm sure you noticed too that Dr. Jelly had what we would say is an enhanced breast size in relation to the lovely Dr. Kelly. But
Yes.
let's pull this one up. This one looks pretty thirst trappy. I think there's a poll involved here. Hold on.
So here are some of the types of women that I have judged in my lifetime. Women who are trying too hard to be sexy, who are too made up, who are too attention seeking, who are too flirty. Women who are late, stupid, disorganized, incompetent, or ditzy. Women who care too much about money, are too superficial, or are not doing their part.
Oh my God, she's a tiger. I'm not even sure she's completely human, Mr. Talcott. She might be some weird hybrid humanoid type entity, reptilian in nature. I'm not sure, but there's no way she's just like human, like as such.
She's got a power in those eyes. There's
right? Yes, she does.
Mm-hmm.
You're right about that. It's the eyes that are saying everything. Those eyes will entrance me. It's like, I don't know. Like you watch those like old videos where, like the snake will like hypnotize its prey before it strikes. Like the snake would just put you in some type of hypnotic fucking trance. And then, anyway, I got Rose back. Let's welcome Rose back to the show. We'll see what she thought of Dr. Kelly. Let's bring her back.
Hey, that was fun.
So Rose, bring us behind the method. What was the method there in your acting? Like, what's your process? Like, we've known Jack, we know that there's great actors that have particular methods, whether it's Leonardo DiCaprio or Daniel Day-Lewis. They'll typically get into character and they'll stay there for weeks and months on end to pull off the character. What was your process there, Rose?
You know, I didn't really try that hard. I came up with the idea last night and I just watched a few of her videos and talked to Jason a little bit. And I kind of just improv that. But if I had a script and spent more time with her, like a weekend with her, and if like she was in on it too, and if like I had actually prepared like a real song on the piano, because I was kind of just like, like I could have done with preparation. I used to do stage acting. I starred in a play, and it's like with rehearsal I could do fucking anything. But that was just like basically I straightened my hair, I put eyeliner on, I found the sluttiest top that I had to show my boobs, and asked Jason to move my piano in front of the crystals, and then I just joined, and that's all I did.
Wowzers. Holy moly. Rose, is there anything in your back of your mind that wonders if Dr. Kelly ever gets a hold of this, how she'll react?
I think she would think it's hilarious, and I don't think that she would be like offended by it. I mean, obviously the whole idea of Jelly Brogan is that I'm a person who's jealous of Kelly Brogan, and I think that emulating her is a form of flattery, and I would be a little bit embarrassed just because I think I could have done a better job with more preparation. But like I would love to collaborate with her on a comedic or serious level at all. I just think that she's at a level right now where she is able to collaborate with other doctors and other like people who are actual medical professionals. And so I don't know if I'm a candidate to be like a close friend or anything like that. Kind of like, in my mind, I feel like I would be best friends with Roseanne Barr if only she would just meet me. But in her mind, the same way that I feel, there's so many people that are always emailing being like, Rose, I love you so much. We would be such best friends if we knew each other. And I'm like, no, we wouldn't. So it's just all like about perspective and like this hierarchy of like popularity. And
right, exactly. Rose, Jack, is it just all high school? People don't really get beyond high school, it seems to me, Jack. This is the stunted society that we're in, that it's like the cool kids table, the haves and the have-nots, the ins and the outs. What is this thing where people sort of find their strata and then get to look down their nose at everybody? What are your thoughts?
That's kind of how it's been. But I love what you're saying, Rose. Well, actually, what was just played out there is what we do. We could be great friends with so many different people, and then we get in our head or they get in their head, and then it doesn't happen. But hats off to you, sincerely. Initially, I thought you were impersonating me.
Oh.
You know what's funny, Jack? I compared Dr. Kelly to you in a way where I was like, Jack should study this Dr. Kelly because she appears to be like on course for the whole thing. She's got courses that people pay money for. She apparently wants to work 3 hours a week and make 7 figures a year. That doesn't sound bad to me.
Right. That was my goal, actually, when I started learning what some coaches could do. You could make money. Just get some ideas together and produce it well, make sure it's of value, and then I don't know.
But she has a few advantages. One, she's a doctor, like a doctor.
Yes.
2, she's obviously, she's gorgeous. I mean, she is. My audience disagrees. Like I have Rocky Shepard, who continuously is trying to tell me that she has a man neck, man shoulders, dude hands, that are Adam's apples bigger than her cock. Like Rocky, I don't know where to go with you, Rock. You're offline with that, dude. You're crazy. The other thing I thought was interesting, Rose, is I feel as though Access Rap Blood was actually getting benefit from that therapy session you, you may have tapped into something more than you realize. I don't know. He'd have to speak for himself, but I saw some growth on his part there. He seemed to really submit himself to the process. Did you notice that? Or
If that's true, then we should make this a recurring segment where people can sign up and say in chat, like, I would like a session with Jelly Brogan today. And like, it doesn't have to be a big thing. You could just, I'll show up and do 5 minutes with anyone that is open to this kind of impromptu bullshit therapy.
nice. Jack and Rose, take it away. I need to step away from my computer for a few moments. Take it away.
Well, please, Miss Rose, you have the gift. Take it away. Sincerely. I love what you offered him. I would love to see a recurring part, because whatever it is that you were tapping into, it was fun and there was truth in it, right? There's healing in some of this fun stuff. There could be something amazing there.
Yeah, like, what if we all together on the Z Show developed a whole new kind of actually effective therapy that has an element of comedy to it for the people like me who just feel really uncomfortable with that kind of stuff. You know, like, I can't take it seriously. Like, when I was a teenager, my parents had me psychologically tested because I was so rebellious, and like everything came back completely normal. And my stepdad was like, so I just spent all this money to find out that she's just an asshole. And they're like, you know, and a lot of the testings and stuff, you know, I just felt like it was such common sense to me, like the ink blot stuff, or like where they show you a picture and you come up with a story. And I just had so much fun with it, just my normal self. And I was like really disappointed that I didn't have some kind of diagnosis, because I was really impressed with myself, like from a teenage perspective. Like, I was really excited about the results of my psychological testing, and it's just like, no, she just doesn't want to come home at a 10 o'clock curfew. She doesn't agree that is a logical thing. Like, what's the difference between 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and 11 p.m.? You know, I was not meant to ever be like in a position where I had to follow rules that didn't make sense to me. And I guess that was my only problem, because as soon as I turned 18 and no one was trying to tell me what to do anymore, all of a sudden no one was like trying to get me, like trying to say that I had some kind of psychological problem. So I guess it was just harmful to me to ever be under 18, I suppose. But yeah, so it's like I kind of have been exposed to all like different kind. Like, one time my mom brought this guy from India to my house, and he told me that like he's healed people and that I would walk again, and all I had to do was email him once a day. And I'm like, what? Like, that makes no sense to me. But then in hindsight, like, if that were true, like, it could be like, well, if you really want to walk again and you can't just do that one little thing to like put some effort forth and your intention, like, maybe I should have fucking done that. But it just sounds so stupid to me that I can't take it seriously. And also, like, affirmations, like I was doing, where it's like you have to love yourself and love your body, and like touching yourself and like, you know, oh my God, did you feel that? Like, I could feel how much I love myself. Like, that is so weird and hilarious to me. But I wish I could resonate with that, because it does seem to have worked for a lot of millionaires that I know, you know, like people that I know through my dad, because like my dad's a real estate tycoon type guy, and a lot of real estate brokers that trained under him that then became millionaires. Like, I would ask them, like, I remember I was smoking a cigarette when I was like 17 with this guy named Michael Ches. Look, you could look it up. He's like an amazing realtor in America now. My dad like is someone who like picked him up from like the secretary thing, and he's like, do you want to work under me? And like, I thought that he was just going to do all the things that like my dad would have taught him. But then I like heard that he did affirmations, and it's like, holy shit, he did affirmations in the mirror, and he attributes that to success. Like, I don't get it, but there must be something to it, right?
There is. There really is.
But it's so silly, Jack.
Correct.
It's so silly. It feels
Yes.
I feel like a fake. I feel like a
Yep.
fake pony saying things into the mirror with no one else around. Like maybe if there was someone there to observe me and be proud of me and give me an A+ on the assignment, I could do it. But just to like look in the mirror and be like, you are worthy. It's like, no shit. Like, who doesn't know that they're not worthy? Like, someone who feels worthless has a problem. So maybe it is helpful to someone who feels worthless, but I don't feel worthless to begin with. So it feels redundant and meaningless to tell myself I'm worthy.
So that's not the right one for you, though. I mean,
Could you
that's
help me figure
what I
out
mean.
the right one? Maybe you could tell me the right affirmation and I could start doing it, and just knowing that I'm doing it to impress you and make you proud of me, it'll help me in some way.
I love your enthusiasm. You are amazing, sincerely. But here's where my mind went. It's really easy for us to laugh at things when we don't understand. And sometimes the very simple is laughable because we're so used to things being complicated and complex. But the goal of the affirmations is not so much for approval. In a way, it is. It's really for your own approval. And you're right. You've got a strength to you, a light. I don't think a lack of worthiness is yours. But there's something else that you want to grow in, that your heart is seeking more of. And that might be the affirmation for you to check out. Whatever that might be.
Like telling the universe, I am open to expanding the possibilities of my heart's power, or something like that.
Exactly. Even stuff like that. Yes. Sorry.
I have an exploding feeling in this area of my body energetically all the time. And I always just love everybody. And people might be like, oh, you two-faced double agent, you're friends with this person who is talking shit about this person, and at the same time you're friends with that person. And fine, like you could call me that. You could call me a double agent or a two-faced person, because I want to be friends with everyone. But it's really that I just feel like my heart is reaching out to everyone because I want to understand where they're coming from. It's not because I want to agree with them. It's not because I want to adopt their ideologies. It's because I feel a disconnect if I can't logically understand where they're coming from. So I could have an hour-long conversation with David Weiss and then hang up the phone with him and then still feel like talking to someone and call RV, who doesn't like David and thinks that David is a shill or whatever. But I don't feel like that makes me a bad person.
No.
You know what I mean? I just feel like it's me just doing whatever the fuck I feel like doing and talking to whoever the fuck I want when I want. And then I have information, and I have more information than most people. And then I can keep my opinions to myself unless harm is being caused and something absolutely needs to be corrected.
Rose, yes, you've got it. You probably had trouble fitting in because of that. If you've been that way for a while, just living your own walk, and it sounds like that's what you've been doing. People like that, it's easy not to fit in because there's all these opinions. Why are you talking to him? Why are you talking to her? What are you spending time over there for? All these people second guessing. So you've got a real strength and a real light to you. You're a fun lady, Rose. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so much. And I really love you too, Jack. And you know who I also really love? I love like the underdogs of society. Like when I'm in the French Quarter and there's like the drifters walking around, and a lot of them are like, if they may not be mentally stable, they may obviously have a lot of like trauma from like wars that they took part in. And they're trying to like, I just sense that a lot of the like the buskers, like people that are performing, that people are trying to reach out, trying to interact. And the only reason why they're getting attention is because like the idea of the busking drifter is like part of the tourism experience. So in one geographical location, these drifters may be completely ignored and not get any attention. But because of the special culture in New Orleans, you know, you might have like a really posh type, you know, executive visiting there and then give the time of day to a busker, and that those two people would never otherwise be interacting or showing respect to each other. And so I always like to go around and like find out what are the backstories of these people. And you find out that a lot of these people that look homeless, and I know a lot of people already knew this, but I was surprised by a few people who they have an apartment, they have roommates, and they have pets, and they have house plants. But something happened to them, Jack, in there. And I think this happened to me too when I went through my homeless experience, where once you lose everything, like absolutely everything, and like access to like a shower or like good food or even just warm clothes, like there's something that happens in your brain when you realize that you have been perceived as that part of society. In my case, I was in Van Nuys, California. And then it's like you kind of stop caring about like how you look to people in a way. And it's like you have to try really, really hard to like re-enter society. Like tonight was the first time I've put eyeliner on in probably 6 or 7 years maybe. And like I don't own any other kind of like makeup, and like I tried to like find like a mascara that someone left here once, and I like was like digging into it to try and like get some out of it. And I was looking for something to wear that isn't like pajamas, and it's like, damn, you know what? Tonight, like trying to pretend to be Jelly Brogan taught me that after 7-8 years, like it's okay. I actually can. I'm okay. Like maybe I will you know, go shopping for like nicer clothes or something, or maybe I will go out and buy like new makeup, or maybe I will start to like try to improve my appearance, even if I'm just home alone hanging out. You know what I mean? Like there's something about losing everything where it's like you kind of stop giving a shit about certain things that used to really stress you out before. And so when I was putting on the eyeliner tonight, I was just like, oh, I remember I used to do this. I kind of feel like a teenager again. And this is like bringing me back to my inner child a little bit. So it's interesting just how those things work, like how just a joke, you know, playing a joke and like emulating Kelly Brogan in a way kind of reminded me like, oh, I'm not like a homeless person anymore. And if I want, I really could like try to be sexy if I want to without it being a joke.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I didn't want to be rude, but I did want to thank you for taking the time to dress up and look a little revealing for us. That was impressive. Nice work.
That's what I'm saying, is that when I was doing it, I felt like I was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But then, like, what about in my entire 20s where I was going out and showing my cleavage?
Right. And that is kind of cool. What you just pointed out, it's something I've been noticing myself. It'll be the weirdest something happens in the day, and it'll trigger up an old memory or something from long ago. New thoughts come up that I hadn't had before in a long time. And I think that's what life is about, man. We learn things, we forget things, we rediscover things, and then we share more. Welcome back, Z.
Howdy. So I'm going to take a little bit of a left turn here. So I'm a little bit concerned about Rose, Jack, and I'm glad you're here to have this conversation. Rose is adventurous in her life. She has, you know, through her challenges, it's kind of shaped her character and her personality. And she's somewhat fearless, a little too fearless. And she is not shy when engaging with certain people. Moral of the story, Jack, she's been engaging with Mr. Snafu Snaps for the last few days here. who's a bit, Jack, as we know, he's a bit of a live wire, a bit of a loose cannon. What are your thoughts? Should we just say, Rose, proceed carefully down there? Or is it, Jack, is it Snafu that should be worried about Rose? Do I have it wrong? Should he be the one that needs to look out for Rose? What are your thoughts?
I was excited to learn of that. I think it's amazing because Snafu obviously has something he wants to share. He wants to be heard and understood. And Rose has an excellent gift of communication, and I've heard and seen how she communicates. I think there could be something there. Maybe Snafu realizes what he has to share isn't what he thinks, or maybe it turns out Rose gets out the gold of what he's been trying to get across.
Genuinely, that is true. I feel like I came into like Nachiketa and Thunder Chicken were the ones that told me about the show when you were talking about me, Z, and that's how I discovered this whole panel verse thing. And I didn't know who the hell anyone was, and like I just kind of zoned out anytime people would talk about like the drama. But the one thing I noticed is that I see in Snafu's communication style myself. There is a part of the way that Snafu is, he has something inside of him, and it's like he can't get the information out fast enough. And he needs someone who will really, really just listen to him. So my genuine goal, is to find out exactly what it is that Snafu feels is important for this entire community to comprehend. Because he has a lot of information, a lot of links, a lot of things he sent me, which I have been peeling through. But still, even though I am looking at all of the receipts and all of this so-called evidence he has, I'm having trouble understanding the relevance and why it's so important that people acknowledge these details, when for someone like me, I've known about these things for like 10 years. So for me, it's not new information. But I feel like he thinks that a lot of people need to understand the private operated government agent idea. And then I would like to have a discussion with him to make sure that in an organized, clear way, he expresses what he thinks is wrong in the world and what we can do with this information that he's providing, and then take it from there. But I do feel that a lot of the times when he gets really worked up, it frustrates people because it distracts from the show. Like, he doesn't have his own show that a lot of people are paying attention to, which can be extremely frustrating because he did used to have a lot of subs. Same thing with Russian Vids. He used to have so many subs, be so famous and popular. And David and Jaron looked up to his work, repeated a lot of his work. And because they're willing to go on camera and because they are more entertainment oriented, they now have risen to a higher popularity. So I can understand why RV would be frustrated, because he's such an OG gangster that's been talking about this stuff for so many years, and he's not getting the recognition that he feels he deserves. So also, like Crow 777 Radio, you know, Z, we've been talking about so much shit that you talk on your show all the time. I'm like, well, that was episode da-da-da, that was episode da-da-da. I could talk about this for 10 hours. I know more about this than Z, blah, 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 blah. But I have to accept the fact that we're basically has-beens. Everyone else has fucking figured out everything that we've been talking about for 10 years. And I just have to accept the fact that now Z, Roseanne Barr, Tucker Carlson, Elon Musk has a platform called X. All these people are allowed to say the things that we've been talking about for a long time. And so, yeah, I didn't get to be really, really famous for being a hardcore original gangster truther. Snafu didn't get to get that. RV didn't get to. It's going to be chosen personalities like the people that are willing to shake their ass in a dress, like Alex Stein, who are going to be able to speak this truth to the larger audience. It's just a fact of life. It doesn't feel fair, but it is what it is.
Interesting. So I felt like that was a really good psychological breakdown. You really got deep into his psychology, and you were able to relate it to your own experience and other people that you know. So so let me paraphrase. So you're basically contending that his behavior is rooted in a deep-seated frustration regarding all the work he's put in, at least perceived, throughout the years, and then basically the lack of reward, the lack of renown that he is where he is now. Interesting. Jack, your thoughts?
Yes. I'm sitting here fascinated. Both of you are such excellent communicators. Sincerely. I notice that because that's something I've been trying to improve for myself. I'm curious.
I was going to say, Jack, I'm an Italian Guido, and Rose is a Jewish American Shiksa princess. I mean, two bigger busybodies you would be hard pressed to find, Jack.
Interesting.
Jack, I want to play this for you. This was Snafu on another show referencing me the other day. I just want to play this in case my audience missed it to kind of bring everybody up to speed. This is Snafu on London Man's second channel, The Rebuttal Bar. It's just quick. Let's just play it very quickly.
Got 2 minutes, Mr. Snafu Snaps. I'm looking to end this.
I just want to say one last time, make sure you guys go to Rose777 YouTube channel. The Marfugal fraud videos up there, as well as David Goldberg's. And the Marfugal fraud was put together by veterans, non-veterans, real jurists. Z ran his fucking mouth about some optics about the number 2 data collection agency co-host with Marfugal. Hey, Z, your public records, I'm holding them in my hand right now. Interesting optics, pal. The optics are high. He cried about a fucking published article on a public platform. Well, let's see how he cries about this. You want to run your mouth about real whistleblowers? Welcome to the game, buddy. Fuck Z. He's very unintelligent, speaking on matters he knows nothing about when we have receipts and facts and he's avoiding the receipts.
All right, Jack. So you heard what he said. He apparently is currently in possession of my public records. And I don't know. Is that a threat, Snafu? Like, what do you think you're going to gain from it? These are power games, Jack. So we're involved. I'm playing a little power game with Snafu, but see, there's a difference. Is that I have truth on my side because he just continuously lies. He tells falsehoods. He is purposely deceptive. And Snafu, I think it's unacceptable.
Well, I just want to correct you for just to clarify, there may have been a little bit of a miscommunication here. I don't have a way of maintaining a YouTube channel. Like, I just lost my 4th channel and now I'm on the 5th YouTube channel. You're never going to find anything on a Rose 777 YouTube channel anymore. That's so 2020. But I have a Rockfin channel. So on the Rockfin channel, I posted some videos that he sent me. And then I made them premiums so that I can make some shekels. So there's no.
All right,
point
Rose. In a nutshell, what did you glean from his videos? Like, in a serious way, like what was the central thesis? Because I'm not going to take 2 seconds out of my day to watch him.
Totally. Okay, so the Charity for Cars fraud video I reposted because I think that it definitely demonstrated that had some crazy deception, fraud, and fakery had gone on. I don't even know who that guy Marfugal is or care, and I don't know why Snafu thinks that everyone has to care about this dumb person. But it is good to let people know and put out there, because I guess it's a big channel, that the guy was selling T-shirts and saying that the proceeds were going to go to a charity, and then he showed the proof that charity never received a dime. That's evil. That's horrible. So people should be aware of that. So I understand why he would be upset if for some reason in his mind he feels like you're preventing people from realizing that this Marfugal guy scammed the charity. And almost
right.
Every
He linked. No, you know why? Because I said he's bullshit. I said he lost credibility regarding his comments towards me. And that's what he's butthurt about. He's trying to prove his credibility through his old work with this Marfugal shit.
Yeah, and then there was another video that I reposted on my Rockfin, this guy's like final words before he died. And it was just the run-of-the-mill eugenics agenda, the genocidal eugenic agenda that is planned by a ruling elite. So I thought it was good information. Like, if someone stumbled upon it who didn't already know that there was that agenda, then fantastic. So I love archiving and collecting clips. You know, I even have like a clip of all it is like politicians saying the phrase New World Order. So like that in itself doesn't prove anything about the agenda of our world, but it is an entertaining clip that just adds to people's knowledge base that there really is going on.
That's very Mossad-like of you, Rose. Let's welcome our next guest. I don't want to keep him waiting too long in the back. He is a man of prestige. I've actually classified our next guest as a savant, as some type of like genius, like autistic savant. I had some rather critical words for him earlier in the show, and it's only appropriate that I get him up here to kind of speak on it. So with that, Smith W., welcome back to Z Show. Smith,
what's up, man?
Howdy. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Not too bad. So, did you hear my rant on Donut Factory? And
I didn't. Hey, did you play the rest of that clip though from London?
I played it the other day. Why?
What'd you think? Well, I jumped in on that. What'd you think of that?
No, I didn't get to that part.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got up there and I told Snaff what the definition of doxing was, and that whether I respect him or not, which I do, I respect Snaff, that it was bullshit for him to do that to you. I don't get in the middle of people's, I don't know what's going on. I don't, for the most part, I don't really care. I wish you both the best, but that's the kind of person I am. So
right. No, he obviously doxed me. He says it's a soft dox. So, but based on the information, on the definition of doxing, he doxed me.
For sure. Sharing somebody's public information they don't want shared is doxing. For sure.
Right. Oh, and he did it on, guess what? My so-called friend, Patrick from OTW News. Just let him do it, laughed about it, agreed with it, Jack. Totally doxing me, giving all my private information, my name, where I went to school, the year I went to school. Totally retrievable information, fits the definition of doxing to a T. Guess what, Snafu? If that's not doxing, then doxing doesn't exist, dumbass. Jack, I know you've been fucking doxed by people. So you know what it's like, dude. Look, people are gonna say, Jack, oh, it's part of the game. It's part of being on YouTube. Yeah, I get it. But the reality is, I'm calling out the people who are doxing me. We're not talking about just random people. Like Patrick from OTW News was on my show many, many times. We had many interactions together, Jack. You understand the relationship that we had. He let Snafu come up there on more than one occasion and blow me up. And Patrick, guess what? I know you've been fishing around my Facebook, Patrick, because out of nowhere, guess what, Jack? I got a Facebook friend recommendation from one Patrick Doe. And he looked awful lot like Patrick from OTW News. Weird, Patrick. Why did my algorithm just randomly recommend you as a friend? Pat, out of nowhere. What a coincidence of all the people in the world. Right about the same time, Jack, that Mr. Paul Unslaved was showing a rather unflattering picture of me from like over a decade ago. Just coincidentally was around the same time that Patrick from OTW News popped up on my friends list as a feed. Huh, Patrick? So obviously Mr. OTW News is involved with digging into my background, and he's supporting Snafu Snaps. This is, Jack, with friends like this, who needs enemies?
It could be, my thought, God shows us signs in mysterious ways, right? And you're seeing the pieces. Whether it's accurately put together or not, that's another thing. But yeah, OTW hosting Snafu doxing you after, you'd invited him. You guys were collaborating to some degree. I thought things were going well. But OTAW and I have our own past as well.
Well, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones with this situation, but I just thought it was interesting optics.
It is.
Oh, I thought it was interesting because I thought maybe you watched the whole thing, and then I didn't hear what you had to say about me earlier, and I really don't care, to be honest. But I just want
Well, I
to throw
wasn't.
that out.
All right, here's the thing, Smith. I wasn't really talking about you, so let's get into this. All right.
No, I'm good.
I'm
I really am. Normally, you
Hold
would have
on.
said that, and I would have walked. I have a convenience store 2 houses from me. I would have probably gone and grabbed a small bottle. Not like, oh, I'm so mad, but just to fucking just to have a reason to drink. I'm not drinking. I'm good. I don't fucking care. It's all good.
Right, because that's one of the things I said about you. But my issue, Mr. Smith W, is more with the Mr. Donut Factory.
He sucks.
Mr. Enter the Stars. Mr.
I need
Jacob.
somebody with over 30,000 subs or 20,000 subs on YouTube who doesn't suck. They are full of themselves. She was talking about popularity earlier. That's all it is. It's all about just egos. I got no fucking ego. You go back and look at my history on YouTube. I look like an idiot a lot of times, but it shouldn't change the message. I don't need to be anybody's saint. I'm a normal person. I'm real as they get. So
you could be a saint.
I got a new one I'm working on. Then I'll jump off your panel. It's the Magic 8 Ball, like the Black Hole Sun. Yeah, I'm serious, Jack. You should listen sometime. You can't handle it. It's not love and truth.
Go ahead, Smith, please.
This is Magic 8 Ball. What day is the eclipse? Is it on the 8th? It's gonna be a big black dot in the sky. Kobe Bean Bryant, middle name Bean. Bean's the magical fruit. I don't know. Anyways, man, I'm not drinking tonight, but
I know you derive most of your powers from the alcohol. I realize that about you.
No, I think I can roll with it better sometimes, and I don't care. I'll talk over people when I'm not
right.
Normal. I don't care, man. I'm so chill.
All right, we love you, Smith. Get out of here. We're gonna listen to your music. Get the fuck out. See, Jack, go ahead, Rose.
I just wanted to mention that I got 60x salvia once from the Venice Boardwalk. And what happened to me was that I just saw a circus tent with yellow and red stripes. And then each stripe was peeling backwards. And I just knew that the universe was ending. And I was totally okay with it. And that's all that happened to me.
That was your salvia. So you didn't see little green gremlins like I did, and
I'm so jealous. I'm so
gargoyles,
jealous.
And I've been trying to classify them. They're a mix between like a gargoyle and a gremlin, closest to a gremlin. Not so much a goblin, but definitely gremlin.
But were you aware that mushrooms, DMT, and LSD have zero effect on me? And have you ever met anyone like that? Anyone else?
What?
Yeah,
no.
I took 5 hits of LSD just to see if it would work. I took tons of mushrooms, nothing happened. And then Nathan Thompson came to my house once and I took a 14-second hit and absolutely nothing happened. I had no out-of-body hallucinatory experience whatsoever, but I felt so much pain that I was just screaming for Jason and Nathan to kill me for about 2 minutes, and then it stopped. But I didn't see anything different. I was still looking at the room around me.
So you're saying that you smoked DMT with one Nathan Thompson and it did nothing? That's crazy.
Yeah. He was passing through and he stayed the night. I don't remember how long ago it was, but it's just really weird. And I'm not trying to I'm just trying to understand myself. Is it because I'm constantly in a psychedelic trip by naturally? Am I just naturally tripping? Or is it my spinal cord injury that's preventing these medicines from having a psychoactive effect? Because benzodiazepines work on me, enough opiates work on me, and then that salvia thing happened. So I just am fascinated by this situation and why it seems like drugs that affect other people. Oh, and I also tried the iboga. The iboga did absolutely nothing at all whatsoever. So it's just so weird because people talk about having these profound experiences, and I just feel like maybe I entered this universe ineligible for these experiences. And you were also talking about combo, which is the frog poison. It's completely different than ayahuasca or DMT. The combo is something that supposedly connects you to the 12 dimensions. So hunters in South America would take the combo. The reason for it would be because they're trying to get the best attributes of themselves from all of the dimensions, which is why after the combo experience, they would have heightened sight, hearing, and tracking abilities. But I think that's so funny, Z, because then doesn't it mean that the other version of yourself in another dimension woke up one day and they're like, fuck, I need glasses? Like, that's not fair.
Interesting take on the these things really not have an effect on you. That's interesting. All right, let me get my next guest up here because I brought his name up, so it's only fair. Patrick, welcome back to the show.
Pete, what's up?
That. All right, so
what,
Mr. Patrick? So
right,
you heard what I
story with Snafu? I thought that was already buried. It was dead and gone.
No, it's that Snafu now upped the game on me. He apparently pulled my public records and is threatening to, I don't know, do something with them. Hey, Snafu, that's not really a threat, dude. There's really not much you could do with my public records, dude. There's nothing on there, man. Go ahead, fuckface.
Okay,
no,
but
you're
he did that.
Just,
he did that here. Or he came here and he threatened you that he was going to dox you again.
He did it on London Man's like 2 days ago.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. But no, the thing with you was, okay, yeah, you didn't dox me, but you hosted Snafu twice, allowing him to effectively dox me.
Yeah, I did do that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Jack,
jeez.
Jack, is Patrick just so lovable that we just let him go with this bullshit behavior? What's the fucking deal with that?
Jack is
that's what others.
Let's crucify him, motherfucker. Let's start throwing.
We just go, oh, okay. It's like, Jack, where's the line? It's like the knife's going in the back. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a knife in the back. I think I'm fine. I think
not gonna hurt
organs.
He is lovable, but I still have hopes he'll change. Because,
into what? What am I supposed to? What am I supposed to change into?
What the fuck are you laughing at?
More trustworthy, more honorable, more good, more forgivable, more lovable. But
more forgivable. I agree with you that one.
Yeah, well,
that one I like.
Instead, I keep getting from you. It seems I just get more opportunities to keep trying to forgive you, and not a lot of reasons to really why I should. But that's me, and that's.
What do you mean? I haven't done anything to you. Haven't done any videos about you. Haven't shit talked about you. Haven't done nothing. Well, okay. I can understand the past, but lately I've been pretty fucking, walking the middle lane. I'm not causing it, especially with you, Jack. I'm leaving you alone. I'm concentrating my efforts on other miscreants.
Okay. Glad to hear. I only see very little, and I just know
it's okay, Jack. It's like, at least I'm not trying to to piss you off or trigger you.
Yes, I agree. Sorry.
All right.
Right.
So at least I'm give me an E for effort, okay?
Yes, you're right. You're right. You're not a bad guy. I do like you, but you've made it challenging.
What the fuck is he laughing about, Jack? So here's
myself, right?
Here's the thing, Jack.
I can so laugh at myself.
I have an idea what's going on with Patrick. A little bit of an idea.
Fuck.
What's up, Pat? What's the matter? Pat, you still there? What happened?
Phone call.
Oh, phone call.
Unbelievable. Go ahead, take your phone call. Harmon, welcome to Z Show. How's it going?
Good. I just wanted to try to get Rose's attention. I've been trying to do it in the chat, so that's why I called in.
Hey, sorry if I missed it. I've been trying to log in as something, but every fucking email address I have is associated with a deleted YouTube channel. And I can't remember the most recent one because I'm on a different computer. But yeah, what's up, Harmon?
I just want to know, have you heard of the singer-artist Ren, R-E-N?
No, I'm so out of the loop. All I know is like
so,
Iron Maiden and like
this. Look up Ren. You got to listen to the first one. You have to listen to Hi Ren. Hi, and he's saying hello. Hi Ren. Look that up. And once you start, you'll go down the Ren rabbit hole. They're called renegades now.
What's the genre, and is it because the lyrics are meaningful in some way?
Lyrics are just fantastic.
Okay, cool.
He does live perform. He does live. When you see Hi Ren, he took him like 3 or 4 tries, but that's one take. No video and no editing like that or nothing. It's one take. So he does a live performance. And when he was 17, he got a record contract with Sony, but he ended up getting, they said a mental psychosis, right? And so they started treating him for that for 8 years. He's from Ireland, but was living in Brighton at the time, England. And they misdiagnosed him for 8 years and found out he had Lyme disease the whole time. So
I wonder if that's what's wrong with Patrick from OTW News. Patrick, do you just have Lyme disease undiagnosed? I'm wondering. All right, Harmon. Much love. This isn't the fucking Harmon Rose hotline, like late night fucking hotline. Come on, Harmon.
I love you, Z.
Right back. Go ahead.
And then watching his genre, and he has all genres. They even call him the Bard because he does a lot of busking and stuff. But his Bard, he does tales and stuff like that, and he does rap and he does singing. He does it all. Spoken word.
Look at you, Harmon, in touch with the youngsters. Much love.
Well, just watch him, Rose, and you get back with me. Thank you, Z. And Z, the world is flat, and we haven't gone farther than 26 miles up.
Love it, Harmon. Keeping it simple for him.
Yes,
keeping it simple. Let me ask you. Hold on, before you leave. I've been asking people lately. The number one Globey retort to the FE community is Southern Star Rotation and Southern Cross. How do you handle those two questions specifically? Everybody has their different thing. How do you handle that?
I haven't had it, and I don't usually let them get that far. I just stick to the basic. You can see too far in water's level. Once they can go past that, then we'll go on farther.
Right. So your thing is basically, what does the sky have to do with the ground you're walking on, no matter what? You got to deal with the ground you're walking on before you can talk about the fucking sky that we can't touch, can't measure, can't test. Fair enough. Harmon, that works for me. I'm okay with that, Harmon. I'm okay with that, dude.
Yeah. Once they if they can get past that, then we'll go farther. Oh, about RV, I called in the Jaron show one time. I thought Rose was around at that time, but she wasn't. She had already gotten off the show. And I was telling him how I guard Charles Manson. I guard him from 89, 90, 91. And
so hold on, let's get into it. So you guarded Charles Manson in his prison cell for 3 years.
Right.
What prison? What are we talking about? Is this a federal?
No, he's not federal. He's state.
He's in California?
He's dead now.
No, but he was in California?
Right. Corcoran State Prison.
All right. So let me ask you firstly, Harmon, what do you think about him being prosecuted and found guilty in the first place, given that he did not perpetrate the murders himself? So if I tell right now, Harmon, if I tell Patrick from OTW News, you see how fucking goofy he is. He seems to be possessed by one of these DMT jester spirits, or maybe he's been, I don't know, sucking that Kundalini juice up from his balls into his fucking brain a little too much. He's into that. I don't know what his deal is, but he's obviously nuts. So, Harmon, if I go tell Patrick to fucking kill somebody and he does it, should I go to jail for it? What are your thoughts?
No.
In those years you were even guarding him, did you even think about that? What was his crime, Harmon?
Oh, I didn't. We didn't think about the crime. We just talked about. He talked about a lot about the rainforest, and he was worried about the rainforest. He only gets nutty when he was on TV. When he's just a normal Joe. But you got to remember, he's on walk alone status. He's solitary. He can never go with general population. So the only ones that ever touch him is us cuffing him up and uncuffing him and putting him in the yard. You know, so he had no human contact unless it was
How
us.
was his demeanor overall?
It was so calm, so just talking, you know, just calm.
Like if he wasn't Charles Manson, if you didn't know who's Charles Manson, he would just kind of seem like normal.
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of thought that's what you were going to say. Jack, how interesting. This man guarded Charles Manson, touched him personally, spoke with him many times for 2 to 3 years. What are your thoughts there, Jack? Interesting story.
And now he's here with us.
And now he's here with us. And he's a flat earther. Harmon, society might think you're more crazy than Charles Manson. He apparently was a musical artist. Did he do any music or no?
No, there's rumors of him having a guitar in his cell is fake. And out of the most lifers, his cell was the cleanest. He just kept a few newspapers, and that was about it he ever kept in there. So a lot of lifers, they have all kinds of stuff in their cell. He didn't want it, so
you guarded you. So you now, to my knowledge, California does not have the death penalty. Am I correct?
He was under the death penalty at first, and it was rescinded by Brown. And I don't know if they brought it back or not. I don't something in my mind tells me they brought it back. But those guys who were already, commuted to life instead of death while it changed, they stayed commuted to life.
Right.
So, and that was
all right. Let's wind the show down. Start saying goodbye, everybody. Let's start with you, Harmon. Much love. Good story. Good story about Manson. Much love. Final thoughts, Harmon.
Rose, please look at that video.
All right, she will. Get the fuck out of here. What's so funny, Jack?
These people, man.
Much love, Harmon.
He's so worried about Rose getting the info from him.
Well, everybody's worried about Rose. Everybody's all buzzed about Rose. OTW, you there? All right, bye, OTW. You know, I forgive you, Patrick. It's like there's nothing even to forgive. This is Jack. This metaversal experience is so incredibly strange and odd.
Yes.
It's almost beyond words at some point. It's very I don't know. It's a learning experience all around. And don't trust anybody. How's that? Don't trust anybody. All right, Jack, final closing thoughts. I'm going to get to the news.
Hey, blessings and love. I appreciate it. This has been an honor and a joy with Rose, Z, everyone else. And dude, maybe I got to refresh, but there should be more likes showing up for what's been shared. Thank you, Z. Peace.
And thank you, Mr. Jack Talcott. Rose, so it's been some minutes now, maybe an hour or so since your Dr. Jelly appearance. How you feeling? You want to come down from it? Do you feel as though we'll be seeing Dr. Jelly again in the future? Where do we stand? Oh, we can't hear you. You're muted.
I think this is a character that I'd like to develop more and practice more. And if you will ever allow it, you can invite Jelly Brogan on at any time. If you have any requests for things that I can do to facilitate people embracing their audacious entrepreneurship havingness, I will obviously develop my therapeutic capabilities. And by the way, there will not be a stream with Snafu tonight, as I thought may happen, but I did just confirm that I will be having an offline, non-recorded meeting with him upon the conclusion of your show.
Wow, now that is information. So he obviously is watching the show right now, obviously, but he chose.
No, he didn't even realize I was on the show with you. I just told him I'm leaving Z's show and I'll call you and send you the StreamYard link, but we're not going to go live. We're not going to record it. We're just going to use it as a means of the VoIP and the screen sharing so that he could see my screen as I type out the bullet points. So I'm literally going to be transcribing his words, and then I will be editing them for succinct, like so that it will be easy for people to
Oh my God. You're going to you're going to basically transcript the meeting. Oh my God. Hey, more power to you. More power to you. And God bless. And Snafu, don't fuck it up with Rose. Like I know you're going to because you have difficulty maintaining interpersonal relationships. But when I said I was your last like bridge to like normalcy and some degree of sanity, I was wrong. Rose is now your last bridge to it, and that's not saying much. Did you see Dr. Jelly Brogan? Anybody who can pull off that impersonation is obviously you know, a little bit touched. All right, Rose, much love. Enjoy your meeting with Mr. Snafu Snaps.
Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Rose 777, everybody. Oh, now Snafu shows up. Now you show up? Snafu, now you show up, fuckface. All right, I'll drop the link for you, Snafu. You better make it quick though. I'll give you a couple seconds to come up. It's only proper. It's kind of weird, Mr. Snafu. You just come in and start calling me a coward. You're like a broken record, dude. You have to work on your originality. Fucking Snafu. He's not going to come up. You're the coward, Snafu. Oh, here he is.
God, you think you're special, don't you, Z? You know what's funny is the crew and the Truthio existed way before you, or even Paulie sitting on his couch, or OTW, or any of you fucktards out there have been doing your thing. Aren't you brand new in this podcast thing, Z? Didn't you run away because it got a little hot in the foxhole? You know, what Rose is going to do is she's going to do what most you cowards aren't going to do. She's going to show real optics of real shit. You're a fucking coward, Z, that fucking supports pedophiles, criminals, frauds, and traitors. Your credibility has been ruined. And you think you were you think that you were the only one that pushed me? Nah, bro. I've had the crew. I have the Truthio this whole time. Now, if you're going to stand on the righteous side, then yeah, we got your back. But if you're going to be a pogo, pedo, supporting piece of shit and make false statements like you've been doing.
See, there's your allegations. There's your allegations.
No. Here's the deal. You avoided receipts on purpose.
God,
you made statements that were false on purpose about Marfugo and Mark Stroll and Dex because of your boy Josh Z. You are a coward. You lied and you don't put real shit out. You fucking fake as fuck making these claims.
About me on the
and again,
internet.
you claim that you were my one that fucking held me up, my only last person to have my back.
Yeah,
bro, the truth has had my back the whole time. We don't need grifting fucks like you sitting in mama's basement who's too coward to show real optics of criminal traitors, fraudulent acts online in your own communities. So Z, quit pushing yourself up like you were my only resource, my only. I don't need, again, motherfuckers, the truth, yo. The crew's been doing this a long time. And it's cowards like you that makes these claims and then fucking avoid real receipts and then just do entertainment shit. I'm about the real shit, motherfucker. So quit acting like you were my last resort or, oh, Rose is going to be. No, we've been doing this way before you even started doing your little fucking streams with your little mic in your dark basement, Z.
So that's the thing. That's the thing, Snafu. Rose nailed it. Is that you have a psychological hang up and an insecurity because, like she said, you had juice at some point, at least some degree of juice. I don't know. I wasn't there. Whatever happened to your channel, and now you're fucking have like some weird vendetta against everybody. It makes sense. It's pure projection. That's all we're getting from you is just straight fucking projection, dude. Unbelievable. Hey, good luck with him, Rose. Good luck with him. Like I said, Snafu, watch out. Because you think you're playing people. Rose is going to play your ass like nobody else. All right, guys and dolls. It's time for news. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. In tonight's top story, House Republicans impeach Mayorkas in historic controversial vote. The Republican-led House on Tuesday night narrowly impeached Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas over what they claim is his failure to enforce border and immigration laws, which he denies as baseless. In the historic move, only the second cabinet impeachment since the country's founding, after William Belknap in 1876, has been criticized by some Republicans and is expected to be rejected by Democrats in the Senate. Okay, so weird. So now they're basically seemingly trying to pin the obvious issue we have at our southern border on the Homeland Security Secretary, this Mr. Mayorkas, who I've never heard of. Okay, hey, everybody needs a scapegoat. We're not going to take down the obvious controllers who are just basically trying to sink and subterfuge this country through immigration. What better way to take down a so-called representative democracy than to flood it with a bunch of migrants? Interesting. Well, I actually feel sorry for this guy, but hey, if heads are going to roll, it's not going to be Sleepy Joe's head. It's certainly not going to be that Nancy Pelosi. So it might as well be this random guy. Either way, I mean, look, if it was just a bunch of Mexicans coming over the border, okay. Not so bad. Mexicans are nice people. They have good food. Their street tacos are amazing. They're loving. They're family-oriented. But I'm not sure it's a bunch of Mexicans pouring over that border. It doesn't seem like it anyway. I mean, they are similarly dark-skinned, but don't seem to be speaking the old Espanol. Kind of looks like a bunch of, let's say, military-age single Muslim men. I don't know, kind of weird. Were they just all hanging out in Mexico, like on vacation in Tijuana, and just happened to stumble over the border, like for shits and giggles? Or is this a planned, engineered subterfuge of this country that probably has been initiated for at least a few hundred years? Said it once, I'll say it again. Y'all think you live in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Just look at the founding of this Declaration of Independence in 1776 and its connection with the founding members to the Bavarian Illuminati, and you will see what this country really was from its inception. In other news, United Airlines grounds Airbus fleet over antiquated no smoking sign law. What? United Airlines briefly grounded its fleet of brand new Airbus planes, according to a report by Gizmodo. This had nothing to do with safety, as was the case with a recent Boeing controversy. Rather, it was due to the aircraft running afoul of the 1990 regulation regarding no smoking signs. The 1990 ruling mandates that no smoking signs found on aircraft must be manually operated by the crew. The newly designed Airbus features software that automatically displays the signage during a flight, so the crew doesn't switch it on and off. That's pretty much it. Meanwhile, smoking itself was fully banned from both domestic and international flights 25 years ago. So, yours truly is old enough to remember when people were smoking like chimneys on flights. And although part of me says, yay, that's good, much like being in restaurants, I'd sit there and people would be smoking. I'm trying to eat my meal and there's smoke everywhere. Well, thankful those days are gone. But I will say, I could imagine it's quite difficult if you're taking an international flight, you're in the air for 8 or 10 hours, and you're a smoker. I don't know how that works. Maybe there should be smoking sections on planes. What do I know? Is it really that bad? I don't know. Back in the day, the pilots used to smoke. Everybody smoked. Fuck, my audience tells me smoking's good for you, not medical advice, everybody. I would say 50% of my audience, now maybe like 40%, will basically tell me how smoking is beneficial and should be engaged in by everybody. I don't know. I can't go that far with it, but I have seen some of the research regarding nicotine and resistance, a positive correlation to resistance of certain, let's say, parasites and also microorganisms. But I'll leave it there because we don't want to get into medical advice. From Yahoo Finance, inflation update on everyday expenses, prescription drugs down, pet care way up. Americans plagued by surging prices over the past 22 months continue to face strain as the cost of meeting everyday necessities remains elevated despite signs of slowing inflation. The Labor Department said Tuesday that the Consumer Price Index, a broad measure of price for everyday goods, including groceries, gasoline, and rent, rose 0.3% in January from the previous month. Consumer prices were 3.1% higher than a year earlier. Well, it's interesting because in the first paragraph, you said that Americans are plagued by surging prices despite signs of slowing inflation. But then you tell me that it was up 0.3% in January over the previous month and 3.1% higher. So it's slowing inflation. So it's still inflation, but it's not like as bad as it was. You see the tricky terminology they use? It's inflation, but it's slowing. It's like we're blowing the balloon up, we're inflating the balloon, but it's a slower inflation, but the balloon's still getting bigger. It's a joke. I don't need to read this article to know that anybody who goes to the grocery store can figure this out. People know what they eat. People have been eating. If you're an adult of some degree of maturity, you know what your dietary needs are. You know what your grocery bill's been for years on end. Everybody can see it going up to the tune of like doubling, if not more. It's insane. But yet you still have McDonald's, you still have Taco Bell, you still have White Castle and Wendy's. You still have all these shitty processed foods that they're subsidizing and pumping down your throats to the point now where the cost of broccoli is comparable to the cost of a cheeseburger. Let me ask you, if your family's like hungry and you're trying to feed a family just to sustain them and you're on a tight budget, what are you going to pick up? You're going to pick up the broccoli or you're going to pick up the Big Mac? I assure you, Big Mac has much more calories than the broccoli. What a joke. They're subsidizing the soy industry. They're subsidizing the rice industry. They're subsidizing the sugar industry, large-scale agro farming, to the point now where farmers are incentivized to grow certain things and disincentivized to grow other. Are you subsidizing spinach? No, you're not, are you? Live in a clown world, one in which people still think there is a separation between the public and the private, and there obviously is none. As I said, you think you live in a representative democracy. It never was. It's a crony capitalist system at best, fascism, and potentially communism. Joke. In sporting news, Stephen A. Smith reveals what led to Brock Purdy's Super Bowl loss. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Stephen A. Smith said there's nothing quarterback Brock Purdy could have done to secure the Super Bowl win for the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy did a good job, threw 255 yards, showed tremendous poise, wasn't wilting beneath the pressure. The only problem is he's not Patrick Mahomes, the sports commentator said during a Good Morning America appearance. And Patrick Mahomes is on the other side of the field. That was his problem, nothing else. The 49ers battled the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl on Sunday, February 11th. After the game went into overtime, Mahomes 28 and the Chiefs came out on top with a score of 25-22. As I said, I actually watched the game, first football game I watched all year. Last couple years, I've watched the Super Bowl. I do watch it. It's interesting for me. I used to be a really huge football fan. When I was a kid, I knew every player, every team, every rule. up and down. Obviously, the luster has worn off for me over time. A lot of people saying, like my number counting friends, Super Bowl's fixed, sporting events are fixed. I actually thought that for a while. The pendulum's swinging to the other side. I don't think they're fixed. Maybe people fix them inside. Maybe players shave scores for their own benefit. But at large, I don't see it. I don't know why they would fix it. They don't fucking care. Let them play. Why would they risk their cash cow? It's the ultimate bread and circus Super Bowl. Let a bunch of guys go out there, beat their brains in, get the whole world to watch, present a goofy halftime show that's obviously ritualistically and occultically symbolic, and basically program the world. Why would you need to fix it? No one cares. They just want to see the spectacle. It's a joke. I did notice of interest, there was like a woke national anthem that they sang. I think it was supposed to be like a black national anthem. Very interesting. I propose, see, a lot of people had a problem with it, but not Z. I propose we have a national anthem for each ethnicity that inhabits this great land of ours. I want an Italian national anthem, an Irish, a Jewish, Polish, right down the line. I think every subgroup should have a national anthem. All of them. Even the LGBT community. I want it. I want to see the rainbow flag out there, and I want it to be sung by Nathan Sanders. That's what I'm calling for. Last night I called for Nathan to do next year's halftime show. Now I'm calling for him to also do the new woke LGBT national anthem. It can be right after the black national anthem, then the Puerto Rican, then the gay one. That's what I'm saying. Why even play the game? I'm actually proposing we shorten the length of the game, shorten the quarters. We have all the ethnicities represent their national anthem, and the game could be secondary. If we're going to go woke, let's go woke all the way. Who's with me? And that'll do it for today's news. And it'll do it for today's Z show. Much love, everybody. It was a wild and wacky show, as always. And much love, everybody. And as they say, parting, it is such sweet sorrow. So let's just say, instead of farewell, let's just say so long for now. And let's do it again tomorrow. Same Z time, same Z channel. Much love, everybody. Take care.